Alrighty. Get everything in order here. I think we're okay. I think we're good. I think I got everything up that I need to. Not put everything everywhere. One day I'll learn to use a computer. It might only take 77 years, but you know what? We'll figure it out. Let me double check this really quickly. I think we're good. I think we have water. We have this prepped. Probably something I will screw up. Which means everyone gets to laugh at me being an idiot. Who doesn't love that? I love you laughing at myself being an idiot. Can this work, please? 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 Please, will you work? Thank you. Oh, that's not right. That's why. Does that there. Okay, so you have this. We have this is all working. If I write, let me double check. If I draw, oh, that's big, but it works, right? Okay, cool. I mean, this is not a good color. Eee. Hi. We can write a hi on it. Cool. So that works. Let's clear that out. Let's pick a different color. Maybe yellow. Pink. Oh, black. Black's fine. I mean, it probably won't work. Let's see. Oop. Change the size. This one. Oh, it works. I like when things work. It's great. That's the problem. Is half the time shit doesn't work. Okay, so I think everything is working. And that means I can go ahead and start. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna be looking over stuff. Yes, I know my game audio is on. Thank you, Vapor. Is it loud? Like, it was supposed to be just kind of background noise that will be hidden once I start this guy. So once I like start this, like here, let me not do that. Undo. Clear this out. Have my mouse back.
In the middle of the stage, it means there's lots of ways to attack.
Is that like? Is it like really quiet?
Oh man, you're going to move against your opponent's defenses, and this is one of those game modes where you.
Like, how about that, Vapor? Is that okay? Like, the point was so that way when I'm sitting here talking, it's not just, oops, just my voice. If that needs to be quieter, I can turn it down a little bit more. It is meant to be just like emergency background noise. I'll turn it down just a smidgy smidge. Just to be safe. But yeah, that was kind of the whole point, is that but yeah, it was there for a reason. The whole point was being just so that it wasn't like completely dead air, because there's gonna be times I'm definitely 100% gonna stop. Also, let's go. Hohen's here. Let's go. I didn't check the time on the timestamp, but yeah, let's go. Do you remember Hohen? Well, Hohen didn't reply to me when I PM'd him, so I thought Hohen wasn't actually here. Let's go. Redeem should work. Hopefully it doesn't break. Let's see. Let's find out if it breaks. Yeah. Okay, well, it is broken. It's because this needs to be down here. Hey, there we go. Things that works. I think it functions now. Should function. It's just because my... Yeah, it's because it was above it. It was on the wrong level. That's easy enough to fix. Just move the computer stuff to the bottom. Wow, crazy. It's because I used the wrong... I see what I did. I used the wrong thing. Anywho, it doesn't matter. Well, you know what? I will put this right here as well, and that will fix that problem as well. Hey, look at that. We're fixing all the problems tonight. Anywho. Let's get started. Let's look this over. I'm just going to mostly look over the TZS sets. And I'm going to be looking over the ones I play. I'm going to pop open the game eventually and actually watch over those as well. That's my plan of attack, depending on how late it is. IPL pen.
Do have to go deep into the enemy's side in order to get anything done. It's a far trek from one basket to
it's
the
about to
here.
start.
So Barnacle and Dime beloved on
but I will
most
be pausing
of the
if I
game
have
modes,
to.
I would say, and certainly this one is a mainstay.
But I think this
and
is
playing proper
gonna be a little bit different, which I kind of like.
In Clan Blitz as well too. Milana, defensively, what are you thinking when that basket opens up and you've got to make sure that you prevent the clams from being baked?
You just have to make sure that as the basket is open, you play calmly, and as you're going...
Do I want the replay codes? I'm lazy. I'm mostly the ones I'll look at the codes. I'll just do from my end. I'm just gonna watch it from this POV because I'm gonna watch both the ones that I played in for sure. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do from my POV as well as the stream POV. Like that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pretty much play it in reverse order. Well, I shouldn't say reverse order, but we'll watch this. We're gonna watch bracket. Then we're gonna watch all of the Nintendo stream, talk about it, what they see, what they are saying. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and watch my sets that I played in bracket and VOD review that, what I did right, what I did wrong, what I want to change, because I have some thoughts about that. And then also at the same time, just kind of, chat it out. Why not? Have some fun. And kind of bring something a little bit different to the table for those that don't do this sort of stuff all the time. And kind of bring out some of the stuff I critique myself in. A little bit, someone like you, Vapor. You don't get to hear me critique myself a lot, but I'm screaming at myself very constantly in VOD reviews mentally. Because a lot of times you see me in team VOD reviews. But even if I don't say VOD review with you all, or if I don't say, even if I don't do it personally, especially if I don't do it personally for something that we VOD review as a team, I'm always screaming at myself what I could do better. I kind of talk about what I see, what I can do better, what hopefully other people can maybe learn from it. And I think it brings something a little bit different from the table. And people like VOD reviews. Maybe I can even do something. It's something I've thought about is maybe trying to open up like a day of the week or every other week or something, depending on how many people are actually interested. They actually go over VODs live on air and talk about what I see with different people, what they could do better. Because it's something that I think is very important for people to do. I think it's very important for folks to VOD review and look at what they did right, what they did wrong. I know a lot of people focus on what they need to do right, what they need to do different, but also look at what you did right? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I only did this play bad, I did this play bad, I need to do this better. Like, no, sometimes you need to go, okay, I did this well. And that's something a lot of people fail to do sometimes in VOD reviews. Or even look at what the opponents did well. Sometimes it's not that necessarily you did something completely wrong. It's sometimes the opponents are just better. Even just in a moment. Even in a game where the opponents get absolutely destroyed. If let's say you get wiped, maybe the opponents did something well in that moment that you can learn from. Maybe, it's obviously if they did something well, you could have done something better to counter it. But, like, maybe, you weren't maybe necessarily in the worst positions or something like that. Sometimes it's, they just skill issue you, or they flanked you in a way that just was perfect and that you wouldn't have saw it, or, something small like that. But yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the, for the love, by the way. I appreciate that. It was a fun run. I only played in half of it myself, so we're only a VOD review about half of it, other than the bracket, which I'm going to watch. This is a set I didn't play in. I was not home for the middle 4.5 hours. Yeah, I say middle 4.5 hours because this event was a 10-hour long fest of games. 3 hours of ladder. There was an hour break in the middle between roughly an hour from 6 to 7 Eastern. And I say roughly an hour because any overflow games go into that. And if technically there was a tiebreaker needed for bracket, they would do that there. So the break is not completely a true break even. Though I think TZS was able to use that. You guys were able to use that pretty much as a break for the most part. Good, like 45 minutes of break, yeah, Vape? Will then be a little bit of a warm, maybe half an hour. Something like that. But then those guys were right back in at 7 o'clock starting matches. I got home around 9 o'clock Eastern, and I left about 4:30 roughly. Like I said, I missed about 4.5 hours in the middle there, and those guys were there grinding it out for a solid 10 hours, and which is insane. That's one of the things I love. I love doing that, but I know there's gonna be plenty of people that are not gonna enjoy that. I don't know if this format will stick in the long term because of that. I think a lot of top level people will complain. And I think that is slightly correct. I think it's slightly fair, at least. But it might be that Nintendo just didn't want to have to pay people for 2 days. It could be that cheap option. It could be maybe they thought, that, hey, let's just combine this into 1 day. It's easier for the players to do 1 long day than 2 small days. You know, I don't know. But we spend the first 10 minutes of this yapping about things without even really talking about the actual sets here. But I think there is a lot to talk about related to the format and such that I could totally rant on about. Which, I mean, I'm not a hater of it. I'm not a hater of the Gauntlet, as Vapor kind of called it, which is probably more accurate than Fest. I'm one that has been known to just throw out random 24-hour streams with no preparation. Oh, I was up for 10 hours beforehand. Fuck it, 24-hour stream. I've done that a few times. I've played at stupid hours on stupid amount of sleep. I've played stupid amount of hours of gaming straight. So, like, I feel like I'm one of those that are probably better about it. But I'll tell you what, there's going to be plenty of people not happy with this. Part of the reason that Riptide is structured the way it is, because it both gives people a lot of games, but also spreads out the games over a long period. It isn't like you're like, bang, 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 for a ton of hours, unless you sign up for other events, or you're really unfortunate. So someone like Whirlwind was kind of a little bit, Whirlwind was, for an example, one that was a little bit unfortunate because they all are collegiate. They played they had pretty much a little mini gauntlet on Saturday because they played Redemption, and then they went right into collegiate. They went from like 4 p.m. to like 11. You know, they did a good half of what we did. You know, of just gaming straight. So like that happens at Riptide, but it doesn't happen very often. It's like that. It's very situational. There's a few teams that had that. I think Vapor was one that had to do that with Redemption. They had one less set than Wormwood did, but in Redemption. But they still had 3 sets and then had to jump into collegiate. You know, there's some people that had Mario Kart or other games in the afternoon, then had to jump into Splatoon. So there's some people that have really full schedules during Riptide, but that's like for Splatoon, the main event. If you do the main event, it's like you have 2 hours Friday, you have, you know, probably 2 to 4 hours on the high side on Saturday, unless you're in collegiate. Then you're gonna have a good bulk there because collegiate's gonna be at least 4 hours. And then Sunday is the only day that's gonna be like a true gauntlet for teams. Just because if you have like an amazing losers run or just a really long winner, you just go really far into the tournament on the top 32. But pretty much most teams are only going to have like 6 hours of gaming across 3 days, which is pretty reasonable for most players, I would say. Even newer players can handle 2 hours over 3 days or 6 hours over 3 days in terms of gaming. But now you're doing 10 hours in a single day. A lot of people in a single sitting, at most with maybe half an hour break in the middle to get some food. And if you're really unfortunate, it's 10 hours straight. So I'm a fan of it because I like weird. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with sitting down as long as, like, especially like that, I'm prepared to know what I need to do. I think there's gonna be a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, and they're gonna jump into this and go, "What the Nintendo?" When it's all there. Like, you have the 3 hours into a top 8 DE, and it's not like they're holding every set for top 8 DE or anything like that. They are jumping around, but you can see that this VOD is 4 hours. That was a 4-hour DE, right? So, you know, a way that double elimination is. Let me pop this up, right? Just bloop, pop this in right here. Open image, new tab. Thanks. Really small. This is awful. Can I find a better one, please, Google? Team. This is the same image, isn't it? Is this a better quality version? Oh, it's a better quality version. That's beautiful. Thank you. So like right with the DE, you have the way that it works from like a time perspective. You can do one here. This is one set. Each round of these are 40 minutes. Because it's a BO5. So you realistically have to get 40 minutes because it also is counter pick with the map picking system. It forces this. Which so it kind of sucks. And then I would have to check this with you, Vapor, because I'm not 100%. Did they do this as one? Or did they do this as two separate things? That's an awful two, I know. I'm too lazy to fix it. So I don't know if you know that, Vapor, if they did losers round 1 alongside winners round 2. It looks like they did, but still. So I'm gonna they did it as one. That's what I figured they would do because it looked like this is what they did, right? So I'm gonna do what I think they did, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So this is 3, right? This is winners. This is winners finals. Because they weren't streaming losers at all until they dropped down. So they held it, I think, for winners for this one. So this is 4. This is 5. And then this is 6. And potentially a 7. Right? So like if you look at this, each one of these is 40 minutes. Each 3 of this is 2 hours. So seeing that this video is almost 4 hours is roughly what I expect for a 8-team DE. That's part of why you have to be careful, especially a DE with systems that make it go towards the longer time on their duration. I don't think their duration actually has a legit like end time. Like a community tournament says you have 40 minutes to do this. And once they start getting close, a lot of community tournaments will start going, hey, what went wrong if we haven't had something reported like hey, this set had DC issues or this team didn't get in. So, you know, teams do that. Some don't. But like the expected time here is easily 4 to 4.5 hours. I mean, if I wouldn't be surprised if many of these finish around midnight. We finished around 11, but if there's a bracket reset, it's gonna finish around midnight. I mean, pretty fair to say, at least 11:30 midnight. No delays, no nothing to cause any problems on there. Which I mean, it ran relatively smooth. It seemed in terms of getting shit done. They have pretty experienced TOs on the job. You know, people like Jordan. You have people like Crime in there. They both. There's plenty of other ones. I think K-Bot's in there. I have to go back and look. I'm blanking on everybody that was there. But the crew that's doing this is quite experienced, so they know what they're doing, and especially dealing with some of these the teams that don't know what they're doing on the ladder side. But still, even with this, right? That's a 4-hour bracket. 4-hour bracket plus a 3-hour thing. You're with an hour break, you're expecting at least 8 hours every tournament. And I mean, it was near that. It was, yeah, no, a little. Ellie, oh yeah, I forgot Ellie's on there. Jack, some people might know him as Jack. They used to be known as. Some people will recognize that and go, I forget they still do that. I honestly forget they do the NA tournaments still. But brain thought aside here. Hey, we started at 4, we finished at 7. Yeah, so I mean, it was 8 hours. I think I said 10 earlier. I don't know why I said 10. That's why it's throwing my brain off. I'm like, that wasn't 10 hours. 10 hours. You know where I'm getting 10 hours from? Some teams played 2 hours Super Jump before this. So some people played 10 hours. Duck Mafia, actually the team that won it, they played for 10 hours. But I'm getting a little bit on. We're 20 minutes in. We're just talking about this stuff, but I think this is just some critical information and just kind of me ranting, and adds more to this than just me talking about the video. I want this to be. This is something I think is a little bit more. I want it to be just more informational and me. Yeah, it's kind of me yapping with you all alongside of VOD reviewing. And not just this. So, but still, my point here is these top 8 teams, especially ones that are going to go here, they're going to be playing until 11 o'clock at night. If you are in the top 2 and you're not playing 11 o'clock at night and you're done early, that's luck. That's not, because this part of bracket is not starting till 7 p.m. Eastern. There is no, it's not like other formats on the community side where it's like things can run quickly, you can finish up. This is like Nintendo. You have a 3-hour ladder period, and that is inflexible. You can't shorten that in any way. And obviously it's over 3 hours because we know, as I talked about earlier, like the run over games are allowed to happen if a game started before the 3 hours end. It's allowed to finish, and then any tiebreaker sets. So like there's that hour break in the middle. So like there's. The first 4 hours are inflexible. There's no gaining time back. Something like Super Jump, or any online event, they can start early, and be no problem. But with this, you are starting a 4-hour bracket at 7 p.m. no matter if no ifs, ands, or buts. If you're lucky, assuming no delays, if anything, the 7 p.m. is a start time, not that's a early start time, not a flexible. Oh, maybe we'll start at 6:50 or something like that. Like, no, you're starting at 7 at the early side. And because you have to wait for stream to pick what stream matches there are, you can't even like fully prepare in a room. Like theoretically, if you knew your opponents, theoretically you go sit in a room or something. You have a 1 in 4 shot of being grabbed. And then you have to go join the spectator room. So hello, gaming time. How's it going? Happy Sunday to you. I do like they let the losers go right away, and that helps keep things up, which you need to do in a DE. Because if there's an issue here, I mean, it just cascades down. You have to be the most aggressive in a DE early, and as a TO, right? But still, I mean, this is a guaranteed 4 hours, so I'm not surprised at this runtime. You guys can't see it. I realize that I just did that. And you guys can't see it. Let me hide myself really quickly. Hold on. You can see the runtime right here, right? Almost 4 hours, and that's so like that's good. Like that for 8-team DE, that's about as quick as you're gonna ask yourself, right? Realistically, which, like I said, is kind of a little bit. I don't want to say problematic because it's not. It's not at all problematic. It's going to catch a lot of people. Did I? Okay, this is the right one. Cool. Anywho, let's hop in this. I mean, we've been sitting here for half an hour. I've been yapping about things that don't even relate.
TZS versus Lanaikea, Barnacle and Dime.
Might turn this down a little bit. It's a little bit loud.
Well, I see another tri-slosher.
Is that better for you guys?
I think this is the newest, the Ashen tri-slosher here. This is one of the more.
So this set, I'm gonna balance this just a little bit. So if it's a little bit better for you guys with me talking, let me know. This is normally kind of where I have YouTube, so I'm kind of surprised. I think I bumped it up. I don't know why I bumped it up. I must have bumped it up for mixing purposes because I needed it higher for something. Because usually it's like, honestly, it's like right there, but it's like right off of not being mute. And technically for copyright things, I should have a little bit quieter anyways. So if it's a little too loud, let me know. I've turned it down a little bit. Anywho, we'll seal that there. So this game, this is the set that I'm not in. This is the set. I didn't play Winners Round 1, Winners Round 2, which this is Winners Round 2, or the Losers Round 2, I think it is, that they dropped to, that you guys dropped to, yeah. And then I played the remainder of the sets, which I don't have the bracket thing. I closed it, so. This is new to me. So we're going to be watching this together, kind of listening to the comms and such, too.
Already collecting some pay dirt here, moving forward, triple splashdown, get out of here.
Vapor vaporizing the competition right there, and Zach so far in the early going in Clamblets, what are you trying to do essentially? Because it's not like you're racing right towards the middle of an objective.
Well, so I've found two main theorems with Clamblets. You are either an aggressive team or a passive team. Aggressive teams try and build a power clam as quickly as possible, and it's just consistently getting the break on the barricade first. The more passive strategy is to get as many clams as you can, and maybe Lanai here was.
So I do want to review this, kind of going back a little bit. I'm gonna do this a lot, but I'm not gonna lie, a little bit I was not ready as I thought I was. But anywho, we're gonna kind of look this over here. I'm also kind of listening to the commentators, what they're saying, and gonna probably respond to a couple things. Because I'm kind of curious what they said, what Nine, Milana, Zach, and Jordan said. It's a good double here early. It just sucks that it has to be 2 for 2. Which I mean isn't something too surprising. They made a good rush here. They rushed down our team well.
You are either an aggressive team or a passive team. Aggressive teams try and build a power clam as quickly as possible, and it's just consistently getting the.
Right now they really are controlling paint. I mean, you can see how like. They just kind of dominated early. They got a couple nice picks, and they just immediately kind of come to this lockout position, roughly, and they keep looking for picks. They didn't really get any. You guys did well, TZS, for those that are listening. Like that just is a position that sucks. It just happens sometimes. Just suck. We lost a 2v2. We lost a 4v4 there. Which just happened, but they got in a lockout position. But you get a hold here pretty well, keep them at bay for a little bit. Also, hello, Riffles. Welcome to cracking yaps about the game for till whenever, probably like 5 in the morning. But I mean, this is a great defense. Really, really good defense for a bad let up early. This is what you're looking for.
So far, 4-4 on the stage. A couple of specials ready to go for TZS. You see that.
I'm curious how David felt in some of these, because I know he wasn't feeling as well, especially in the turf war early. But I wonder how he's feeling in ranked modes with playing with people.
Yeah, Zach kind of noted earlier.
Good shot there by Pepe.
A wonderful shot with that Trizuka on the aerial enemy.
I wonder if David thought. I'm curious here. Because did David rush that, or did he? Okay, yeah, no, he was already caught in that position because he was going with Pepe, so that's fine. That's an understandable death. I thought for a second he dove into it. I thought for a second he dove into it. I was like, David, what do you? that's a. I'm like he thought Pepe was gonna come with him, but no, that was just unfortunate timing. And then just caught where he's trying to avoid it. That was a good inkjet timing. There's just nothing much to say about that. Good play, David. Now you need to move here, David. They know exactly where we are. David, move. Good play by Pepe. Go, Pepe. Go, Pepe. You gotta go for the bow there, Pepe. I'm bad about that sometimes too, I won't lie. That's one where you go take the bow, then you get the jump, and you hope your teammates get the jump in the background. That's something I'm bad about, especially in comp stuff. It's definitely a very solo queue-esque thing to do. This is one of those, you just have to trust your team to finish this. And I'm bad about it. Like I said, I am bad about this. It's something I'm trying to correct out of my game. So I'm going to be harsh on Pepe here because I want to be better at this, and I don't have film of me doing it right now. So like this, it's like, okay, I see this jump. If this is a fight you lose, okay, this weapon is a bow. We know this is a bow. It's the only one at this point. Everyone kind of knew that. I'm pretty confident in that without having to be a part of the call with you guys there in TZS. This is one where you go, okay, I go kill this. And I need to do this. Again, this is something I'm talking about, like, I would like to see myself do, not just Pepe's here because he's the one that's in the film. But I'm pretty sure we'll probably see that when we VOD review that I do this a couple times. This is a solo queue-esque thing. This is I gotta trust my team to come clean this up. I need to go get this guy. Go for this, then this. Especially when it's a jump that's fresh like this. If the jump was like right here and it's about to land, yeah, go for the jump first. But if it's a full-ass jump, just go for the person first, then come back for this. You also have to remember, people jumping in, they don't have a full aspect of what way to shoot right away. unless people are giving him very precise and good information, which just doesn't happen. Even if they say, hey, they're on the stack, right? They could be here. They could be here. Could be where Pepe is. They could be all the way back behind it. They could be behind them technically, right? So that's something I think that people should start doing a little bit more, and that's something that I personally want to do better. But you can see Pepe here. You can see, look, he focuses on this a little bit. You know, he's firing at it, but he's like, you see, he's more prepared for killing this jump than he is for going after the bow. Where I would have loved if he went and got the bow first, and then, because you can see Pork's here, David's here. If those two, plus Vapor eventually coming in, right? If they can't clear up this one, then that's a bigger problem. You see what I mean? Like, that's a 3-man group. And if they can't win a 1 versus Stamper, that's another conversation you need to have elsewhere. You know? And it's something, again, it's brush that I'm bad about. But you can see now that bow got away. That bow, you kill them, you get 3 more clams. Because they have 3 clams in this, right? So something to really consider here. As a solo queue player. Well, that's a solo queue play that I'm bad about too. That I would love to see people being better about, again, including myself. And in a play that you can maybe, hopefully, especially in a comp setting for anyone here listening, maybe can take in a comp setting and do better with it, learning from it. Good push there, Pepe. I'm okay with this jump a little bit more so because of the special coming out, right? This one I understand a little bit more because of the position, right? Let me go back to this, right? This one's a better example of going after the jump. It's like, okay, you can't rush this. As a shot, there's no way in hell you win this fight by rushing this. You lose this, and then there's a bow support there. See, that's the difference. If, like, just like I said when we were talking about the bow, if it was like a sword or something, you probably don't go after that sword. But if it was any of the other 3 ones, you go after that. So like this is a perfect example as a shot, or like a brush would, same thing. Anything would apply. Probably carbon would also fall into that for a brush because I lose that fight against a carbon. Where they know where I'm at like that. At best I trade. So like this is a better time to go after this. This first, then go the other 2 because there's 2 there instead of just a single, and it's a worse matchup. So just something a little bit contrary, and it's hard in the moment to do that. And they didn't for sure have the help. They did have David come in, so maybe you could argue. But then it's a 1v1. You really want to have at least 2 on a jump, or at least have a second one ready to assist if something goes awry. If somebody trades, if a carbon or a stamper especially, they can come in and get that kill really quickly. But overall, I mean, this is I'm nitpicking, which is good. When I'm at nitpicking level, that's a good problem. And there's definitely probably some bigger picture stuff that could be missing that I could probably catch up on a little bit better. I like to see that more with a trend than necessarily one thing. That's a good. I mean, that's just that. This is just great shots. I can't. Like, that's a good one. Pepe's found himself now in a bad spot, and then Vapor just doesn't have the time to react. So that's a tough position to be in. So great triple on their side, and that's kind of they skill issued a little bit, but also like everything was kind of vulnerable. And if you you know, Pepe found himself alone, but kind of kept fighting. They were kind of in Zuka, so they were in a tough spot to get out. And then Vapor's trying to support, but then Vapor's now in a bad spot because Pepe's dead. And kind of X-Bloke just can't move very quickly sometimes. And that was one of those times it just can't move. So that's one where you just, with experience, you see that happening earlier. And where you see that happen earlier and you can make that reaction to just, we need to back up, or, hey, someone like Pepe has to just kind of eat the end, that last shot or two of the Zuka that he has, instead of like Brain, please work. Instead of just trying for the shot and trying for the kill. With them being 2 down at that point, if you just swim immediately, I think Pepe gets away there. Because it took them 3 shots to kill Pepe. Good shots there by the Zap. Good rush. Finding people a little bit alone. And they just pick one after another. So that's something maybe we have to do a little bit better with our front lines, because we do sometimes suffer in the ending. We get a little bit separated. So I think that's something that TZS we need to do a little bit better, is try to rally around the key positions a little bit better. Right? So let's go back to these deaths and kind of look at where they're at. So the last 50 seconds here, I know I'm going back maybe a little bit too far. We'll probably speed up just a little bit here. Now let's just start here. So you see Pepe is fighting for the stack, but Pepe's kind of alone. So they find one by themselves here. You see all the other 3 are in a pretty good position. I'm pretty happy with this position, right? This is the stack. This is the key position here on this map, right? You hold this, your opponent's not scoring, or they're scoring so minuscule as they come through here, right? They maybe get a football and maybe a jump off, but that's a tough spot to get score and at least not be seen right away and have a chance to react to it. If they have this stack, they can come from up here, down low, theoretically up and over here, on the ramp, obviously the most common way. So stack is the key position here. So I kind of want to see how they play around stack. I kind of feel like they didn't. Obviously, Pepe tried to go for one here a little bit on his own. Where's the other ones kind of go down here? Obviously, you don't want to necessarily just stand on stack, right? But utilize in and around stack. So it isn't necessarily you have to be physically on the key position. At minimum, you must deny your opponent the key position. Using the key position in a lot of times will help. But I think here, this is one of those times that you don't necessarily have to be on it, but as long as you're at least utilizing it. Like, David's utilizing it there. I can't be mad about this. I think Pepe overextends a little bit here. And then this is where I think Pork has to just kind of abandon it a little bit quicker and go up to the next key position, which is up where this carbon is, which is this left side. The way that a lot of scores are done on this map is if you hold this top area up here, you can extend your push because you're denying your opponents any real thing way back here, the spawn wall behind the basket. If your defense is behind the clam basket, the opponents are scoring 9 times out of 10. So if you control up here, because this is a slick right in this spot right here, if you control this little paint right here, your opponents are forced all the way back here, or realistically, if they're all the way up here, they're not really firing into this low area where you can score from, especially with regular little clams here. So I think Pork maybe needs to try to run back there a little bit faster. That's really the only critique there I have. It actually isn't horrendous. It's a little bit of over-aggression. And again, a little bit slow to fall back into the defensive positions when you have a lead without as much support. But you can see how they kind of are denying TZS this hopper area, how they just keep scoring from this. Obviously, the team is just kind of dead. But again, they look at all this denial. Obviously, everybody except for this one dies, so they stop scoring. But it's not that you can't utilize the low ground, but in general, you should focus the high ground first, then the low ground, in that order. Again, you can kind of maybe get a flank off, or you might be able to get something utilizing the low ground, but the low ground in general will lead to failure over success. And this is a good rally here by TZS. Really, really good to push up. It just took too long, right? Because the OT starts with their baskets open. They need to go right now. Like, they have to go right now. TZS does. And you can see them moving. Pepe's a little bit ahead, but they still got to go. I mean, this is half the overtime right now. They need to be scoring within the next couple seconds. And it's just going to take too long. Like, right now, if they aren't holding forward, it's over. It is straight up. We're at this exact moment. If the ball carrier is not just beelining to the basket, it's already over. And you can see it's going to end here when Pork gets up here. And they're not going to get there because I think in the background yeah, you can see Vapor does try because you can see in the top left here that Vapor's going to die, I think, to this person. Yeah, you can see him die in the background. Like, so Vapor knew he had to dive, and I still don't think Vapor makes it there. Even with the clear path, I don't think Vapor makes that. Which it just took too long, and they got a really good multiple down. I don't think you do, Vape. Right when you die, let's see exactly when you die. You have to remember. Oh, I went too far again. It would have been close. I won't deny it. Because it's gonna take another little blip to. That's about when you're gonna throw it, right? You might have got it. It would have been really freaking close. Depending on exactly where you throw it, too. So, I mean, if you throw it a little bit deeper than you need to, you probably don't score. Nice score, by the way, on the opponent's side. It was really freaking close. Where if you do something where you're not pretty close to perfect, you don't get that. Even if the ball falls forward, you lose there. It doesn't matter. Once you drop the ball, your game was over. If you throw the ball, the game is over. Because that just takes too long. That's how much of a...
That just creates such a big opportunity for Laniakea to move forward.
Yeah, that's just a real tough spot to be in.
Even if they didn't make that push, having a team
yeah, we're gonna let this roll for a second. I'm
gives you so much opportunity to push forward
my charger for my phone.
Turf. And that will give you an opportunity to kind of keep the other team away from the middle, keep them even farther from their goal in your base.
Zach, it was so interesting. Milana pointed out turf control and how TZS really had a lot of control with that, but it felt like TZS, they had the lead late, time was ticking down. They almost got a little too passive because it gave the opportunity for Laniakea to really build up those specials, and they utilized that moment.
Well, and so 3 of the weapons there for TZS, you get short range, so you don't have the range advantage, but you oftentimes have the turfing advantage. But on the other side of things for Laniakea, you have players like Venoct who are able to play a similar
they talk about
very aggressive and sort of take pot
they
shots.
Talk about the fact that they have they talk about here that they have the pain advantage, and so they were a little bit too passive. I think that's a fair thing to say, actually, from Jordan. They maybe a touch too passive. There was aggression, it just wasn't unified aggression. I think that's something that we're gonna have to hammer out a little bit, is to be a little bit more on the same page of when we get aggro, because we do have to be a little bit more passive naturally as the way our team is. We're gonna have 3 more passive weapons in general, whether that be, probably shouldn't talk at the same time they're talking too much. You're gonna have a combination of a junior, tri-slosher, and brush, at least 2 of 3 of those, if not, and an X-Blow. So, of the 4 of us, you're going to have at least 3, if not 4 of us. So, like I don't think at all that that's an unfair statement. And I think we had aggression at times. I think there was just times when you look it over, you go, okay, no, Pepe was doing this thing off on his own. You can see that David Vapor and Porkwall at the our side's stack, but, like, then Pepe is going and rushing their stack. Well, maybe if David was there, maybe Pork was kind of pushing up, throwing bombs or something, playing a little bit safe, because I understand it being the end of the game. Where, like, if that was a little bit more unified, maybe they get 2 off of it and 2 for 2 or something, and that's in a lot of ways still fine. When you're up there, trades are okay. But the problem is then Pepe gets picked on their own. David then gets picked on their own with it. It was a nice shot there by the Zap. I think it was the Zap there on that one. I might be recalling 2. I might be mixing 2 different plays together. The Zap gets a nice pick of David on the ledge, and then Pork gets hunted down as he's trying to retreat, and Vapor has to jump out. So, like, it's definitely a fair point where they were passive at times, but it's because we didn't need to be unified. And I'm not going to send Jordan VOD review commentary. I don't actually have Jordan Kent on speed dial. I could message any of these other Milana, 9, or Zach, and feel confident they could do that. But I wouldn't do it as a VOD review of their commentary by any means. They are well more knowledgeable on how to be better at commentary.
They were just staying alive. They were staying on the stage for the most part, and being
at
able
most
to
I would be
that.
like,
we get set for our next game here. It's going to be Splat.
Hey, this is why we do that, just for your information for future streams.
Yeah, you actually, this is a nice.
Alright, I'm gonna skip through this because people know how kind of splat zones work. Oh, no, they're not talking about. Yeah, see, they're kind of talking about how splat zones work.
Scenario, and that's why we saw when one team has control of the center of the map.
We're gonna skip this because we're gonna do it over basics a little bit for those that are more casual viewers, and I'm not gonna run through that because I'm lazy.
Yeah, so you know what's really gonna be what we're gonna be.
So Umami, good choice here, I think, for TZS. It's a very comfortable map for us.
And both teams are gonna have
For reference, for those that don't know, the way that the Nintendo one works, let me pull up the rule set. I can show you guys. Fancy thing called I should be a better streamer and like actually do these things. Here's the rule set. Yeah. So we'll zoom in here. Make that most of our page. So you can see kind of the way... I recommend reading this entire document if you plan on playing the NA event. But the way that this works, can I... It's being... Okay, we'll just do it this way. Gotta get Urchin in here, right? So the way that it works here is obviously coin flip who gets it first or higher seed. TZS was higher seed, so they picked Clamblitz. So like we picked Clamblitz. I don't think it says it in here unless I'm blindish. Coin flip. It says somewhere about higher seed gets mode first later, but I'm too lazy to go find it. But anywho, TZS, because we were the #1 seed the entire time, we get first mode choice. Which you will see when we talk about TZS in the next one. I don't think... Will you guys stream the match before I came in, or was the next time you were streaming the one I came in, Vapor? Because I think in the other ones, they were kind of feeling more Clamblitz without me. But when we came back in, we started playing more Turf War. As you kind of mentioned with it. It was when I came in. It was the next time we were on stream, okay? So next time I'll be streaming, actually, it will be me. But so the winner / higher seed / coin flip winner, the winner of the previous game if this was another game, or going into the set, the coin flip or the higher seed gets to choose the mode first, and then the loser chooses the stage without repeating a stage. So you can't repeat a mode, you can't repeat a stage. So we can't have Turf War, or Turf War on Hagglefish, Turf War on Undertow, and that you can't have that. But you also can't have Turf War on Hagglefish, Splat Zones on Hagglefish. That's also not legal, no matter who wins. It is straight up at that top of page 8. That's right, I forgot this is here. I forgot this is further down. I knew there was one where it's nicer, but I got lazy. But anywho, this is the one that talks about the higher seed we'll choose. But either way, so TZS picked Clamblitz and they picked Splat Zones, and then TZS picked what was the map? Umami, this one, and then the game before they picked Barnacle and Diamond Clamblitz. So that just kind of give you an idea as we go into it. But yeah, that's we'll save this for later. I might need it. We'll just drag it over there onto my personal tabs with all my Mewtwo material on it. Again, I have not watched this. I know they lose this set, but I have no idea of the score or anything beyond that off the top of my head. I know I was told it once, but I'll be honest with you. Vapor's probably like, Kraken, I told you it was 3-1 or 0-3 or, you know, whatever the score was. I completely do not have it memorized. I'm going to be honest here. But I think Carbon makes a great... I want to see this here. So this Carbon here makes a great line. This is something I think we have to fill in our game, is watching this better. This is something we kind of do. We don't do as well. My goal is to watch it from this angle when I open, assuming no one comes here. Maybe I need to kind of make it up in here. Obviously, I'm not in this game, but something I've contemplated in my game that I want to do here. We'll kind of I gotta see how everybody else opens. So this is a great line by the Carbon, just along this ledge here. It's a great place to go. David's there. David's in position. Oh, David just misses this. Oh my God, David just was looking. He was looking here, and he didn't check his left. I mean, that's a tough spot to see because of the ledge there. And the Carbon gets what, 2 or 3 there. That's it at least assists in a third one. That's huge. I mean, it's one of those things where I think the best thing you could probably do, Vapor, is to paint that line. Because I mean, look at this, right? Let's look at this here. Pepe's fighting him. Pepe, I don't think realizes there. So let's watch this a little bit more. So you're shooting backside when, and you're probably supporting probably comms that there's one there. I'm guessing, but that's one that this has to get painted. That can't be. I think early on we gotta make sure there's just like no yellow up top. Especially on our side, because we've lost a few of those fights initially with something along those lines. So that's something I think we need to adjust in our Umami game.
To the other, it can do the dual duty of effectively painting a third or a half of one of these zones to also getting major damage on your opponent, and that's part of why when I think,
I mean, look at this opening here. We have computer screaming at me. Okay. We have 2 right and 2. I think Pepe looks left, but ends up going top. So, I mean, this is an awful spread. Pepe sees him. I mean, Pepe does see this Carbon. You can see he's reacting to the Carbon. So, I mean, I guess it's not as bad as I initially thought, because Pepe is literally reacting. Look at that gun right to their fucking forehead. Just the Carbon just wins the fight. But that is something we've gotten beat on a few times now. So I think we still need to find an adjustment there. And that's kind of why I was contemplating what I can do better. I mean, my goal is to, like I said, my goal is to swing around this right side right away. Especially if there's no congestion here, swing around, go up to the top. You know, maybe I need to play up high. Obviously, I'm not in this set, but it's definitely something I've contemplated. Maybe Pork needs to go up there if Pork's with us and just paint. You know, just Pepe Pork maybe goes there. Or David, David Pepe, with the idea that David is more painting while Pepe is going for the kills. I think that's going to have to be something we talk about in an Umami game. It's obviously going to have to depend on the 4, no matter what. But that's definitely a situation where we could have done better. And it's caught us a few times. That fight there is not something we've not historically lost sometimes too. So that fight is so critical early on and happens every time. This is a great triple by that, and that Carbon just cooking. Ooh.
It's a wipeout and a chance for Lanai Kea right here, Milana, to make a little bit more of a lead.
And you know what? There's something about Umami Ruins that if you are able to create space around this area that we're focusing on right now, it can be very difficult to move back in.
A lot of trades going back and forth.
This is not good. That's trying to find something. This is a force play. This needs to not happen. This is a force play, 100%. I've been there. Once you see that Stamper's eyeing you, you don't want to do this. Right there. Nope. That's a escape that button right there. But I think kind of momentum, David just kind of didn't catch it fast enough, which is understandable. That's a very split-second moment thing. Because I think he was kind of committing to it as you realize the person's there. I mean, you can see them their ripple mirroring David, so you have a little bit of an idea that they could be looking at you, and that's where you should be cautious. Right here, you should be cautious, and not commit, but committed to it nonetheless. They may not have caught the ripple like we did right away, or whatnot. So I don't obviously know in the moment. That's one where it could be a bang situation where that's not fair to be like, yeah, David, you fucking suck. We're like, no. I've had those moments. I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna definitely yell at myself for. I don't want to be like I know sometimes I'm gonna sound like I'm harsh to my own team, and we're gonna talk, and in some ways I'm going to be, because I want us to do the best we can, and we're gonna do probably a VOD review tomorrow of this as a unit, what we could do better as a unit, more so than on an individual basis. But I would hope that the players come back and look at the film and do that themselves, about themselves in particular. And I think once I get to what I did, and when you guys see how harsh I am on myself, I think you guys will be like, oh yeah, no, you're at least shitting on yourself as well. You're critical, constructively critical of everybody. Right now I'm not just in, so I always feel bad for that, and I always kind of throw that out there when I'm in a VOD review session with my team, that if I'm not in game, I'm like, sorry if I'm a little harsh. I promise I'm harsher on myself than I am on you guys. I think in a lot of ways, being your own work, like your teammates should push you to be better. But there's a point where if you're like nitpicking every little tiny detail on somebody, it just almost is like targeted. And that's where like you as a player need to, unless that person is reaching out to you to do that. Like if let's say Pepe was like, hey, Kraken, can you VOD review my gameplay? I want to be better. I've looked through it. I've seen this. Then I can nitpick or something like that. But like, I don't want to nitpick too hard. But at the same time, I feel like I say a lot. Like I don't know. It's just one of those things that I guess it's just I don't want, especially for those that don't know how I VOD review, especially because this is one of the few times I've really done that in a public light. I always want to just kind of add that asterisk so people kind of like, hey, like you're gonna see me be hyper more critical of myself, and I'm not even gonna say everything that I'm gonna be critical of myself. That's a decent flick. I want to kind of look that over again, that sequence. So David overextends a little bit. He's looking for it. Let's look. I want to come back here a little bit. So we're down 2. 2v2. This is a 2v2 fight. 3. Okay. Okay, yeah. So David sees a 3v1, overcommits a little bit. They punish for it. He's just a little bit ahead of the rest of the team. Decent shot by this Zuka. Like it's a decent shot, but at the same time, Vapor's kind of sitting there for a long period. Like, if you see that shot from that Explo, you know general where they're from. So it's a good shot, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm not trying to downplay that. But that's something that, like, Vapor could have maybe moved, knowing that Inkjet's kind of around, so they might flick them, because they're in such a vulnerable position. I mean, it's still a good shot. It's still a good play to connect on that by that Inkjet, like, by no means. But that's but what I mean by that's the information they used to attack people, and they do that a lot in this set. We saw that a lot in the Umami game too, where if they saw like somebody firing, they would occasionally flick over to that person. So like they do this a few times in this set, which is good on the player, because like that is not necessarily easy to do and be accurate. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're not. That one was an accurate shot, hit Vapor directly. While other times, like I think the Pepe one is kind of an example, when they got that triple and they killed Pepe. It took them like 3 shots to hit that. They didn't really flick Pepe per se on that one, but they was like, that was the next person firing them, so I'm going to focus that person.
You want another map that's difficult to get out of spawn on. No,
so there's another one that I can't think of exactly when it happened. There's a few times it happened in the Umami game where they kind of just flick people. Something you consider, Vape, since you said you didn't expect them to. Higher level Jets are going to do that more consistently, especially higher level ones. When they see your Explo firing like that, they know you're a sitting duck. You, E-leaders, pens, even something like a heavy, right? If you see them firing and you're not in range, just flick them and you might have a shot to hit them.
Just but a scratch, though.
I've seen that a few times from different Jets that are pretty well.
3 points away, but a 56-second penalty, Professor 9, and that is going to give some more life here for TZS.
Yeah, no quick math needed on that one. That's a lot of points now that they're going to have to get through here, and I'd say they'd much rather play the clock at this point than worry about the knockout. But now take a look at this. Smork does have that big bubble as the special.
This is fine. Not overextending. This is smart. This is good gameplay here. Maybe a little bit clustered. Maybe I would love somebody in and around this. I don't have a pen. Maybe in and around this kind of area. Instead of everybody because we have 3 right here. Like, I like David taking a slight off angle here. This is too many men in one spot. 2 on this, I'm okay with. Especially with one of them being a backline with Vapor. But I would love Pepe maybe to be right in here a little bit. Or even be down to the right with David. One of those 2 positions. I think ideally to the left just to bring a more balanced front. Because this is too many men in one spot. We do this sometimes as TZS. Like, you want to be in the key position, but you don't necessarily need to be on the key position, right? You don't need to be on this singular position, because that allows this team that has 3 or 4 specials to focus all of them right here. Obviously, this bubble will help defend against some of that. But assume the bubble's not there. You have Zuka that could come in. You have a Zip that could come in. You have an Inkjet that could come in. So I think a slightly more balanced front, while still protecting the key position, would be a little bit better from us. Obviously, they're able to handle this pretty well initially. But you can see they just kind of get some picks. They start throwing everything kind of in that front area. They get the 1 pick on the right and they get the 1 pick on the left. Now they just send everything at the house at that bubble and clear it out.
Down goes 1 for TZS. The zone is wrestled away. Lanayake able to do what they set out to do here, Milana, by using those specials.
You just got to go, David.
Now, with only 10 seconds left on the clock,
and now you got to go, David. Sorry, I thought that said 3 seconds on the clock. I was like, why are we hesitating? But yeah, it's the end of the game. They kind of. This is a good play by Pork, but it's just not going to be enough. Honestly, they almost mucked that up because Pork almost got that flip. Oh, he did, but it's just too late. Look at this. I mean, they totally here. They shoot the bubble, but if they shoot zone, that's actually the better play, just because of the time and because they neutralized zone because they knew that they knew the Junior was behind. And Juniors can flip. You can see how fast that neutraled. It neutraled right as the game ended. And then this is the zone that person's in. You can see them right here. And you can see that they flipped it. If there's another quarter of a second there, maybe half a second, TZS has that flip. I don't think they hold it by any means because they were down 2. But it's something there. That was a mistake almost by them. Imagine if they were the only ones up or numerical down where TZS could come in and flip that permanently. That could have been really bad.
You can maybe try and shark on the wall, see if you could pop out, maybe get somebody who strays too close. But the only picks they were really getting coming out of that were from their custom explode. There was not really anything else coming out of them sitting all the way back.
For reference, I'm not going to say a lot about opposing players and teams. Just because they didn't sign up to be VOD reviewed. I mean, my team didn't sign up to be VOD reviewed technically either, but, you know, they're my team, so they're getting VOD reviewed. I'm mostly focused on myself, and I will going into the sets I played, but I did want to show this one off because it was another one that was streamed by Nintendo, and I'm kind of going through the whole Nintendo stream and then going through my personal stuff. And I play in the next set, so that we'll watch. So, like, I'm not going to stream too hard into the opponents, because that's not fair to them. They didn't ask to be VOD reviewed, especially in a public setting like stream like this. So, you know, I'll make a couple comments, but I'm not gonna say a lot. Like, I'm not watching their gameplay any other than like
that median from the middle of the map. That's
you know, occasional comment.
Drew it up, and that's exactly what led them to get another game on this match.
Now, I've heard this term sharking, and I always thought it was the not so delicate way that I eat my food, but it's actually something relevant here in Splatoon. That's a critical strategy.
Yeah, my apologies for using the term earlier here. Sharking, some of you may be wondering, okay, how does that short-range carbon roller get close to people? Can't you see it coming? Well, in addition to being able to jump all over the map, and in addition to being able to move very quickly, Inklings also have a stealth built into them as well. If you go down into your own ink and you wait, the opponent can't see you, and you can move very slowly, get up into your opponent's face, jump on out, lay that trap, a trapdoor spider. We've, in the community, decided to call that sharking, the Jaws music always playing when it happens here. But that's how the shorter range compositions can be so explosive. Yes, they're lying in wait, but it's all part of the game here.
It's good lines by 9, so I mostly just let that play.
know
Because
that even
I
if
want
they
to
wait a
include
few
some of this
seconds,
commentary.
They can get 3 or 4 of their opponents, as we saw the Carbon Roller.
And especially if it's good commentary. This is good commentary.
All right,
I mean, it's all good commentary.
Shark.
I don't have much to say on the commentary, and I'm not going to critique them anyways, really. Unless I'm listening to them and I'm like, no, but I'm kind of more of my own thoughts focused on the sets. But I think that was a really good description.
Cool.
And
Fair.
it's funny listening to this because I mostly want to listen to it because it's one of those things where they go, hey, they have to explain things to the casual viewer at home, and I love listening to these streams purely as trying to listen to it from a casual point of view sometimes, because it makes my stream or anything I try to do in a public setting. Sometimes we need to take more you can take that as somebody else who's watching people who are more trained, significantly more trained than I am, and be able to take some of those lessons that they do and bring it to, say, a stream I'm on, where I can maybe explain some of these things a little bit better for a more casual viewer, especially someone that might be watching something like IPL, already has a pretty good understanding of Splatoon, compared to probably the average viewer watching this stream in particular, especially comp Splatoon. So like this, most of the people watching an IPL stream might know what sharking is, but most people watching Nintendo stream, there's probably hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, that did not know what this, because there's a few thousand people, there's multiple thousand people watching this, right, across both platforms, YouTube and Twitch. So I don't know the percentage of it were comp players or those that were not comp players by any means. But let's just even say it's a 50-50 split. Well, that's almost 2,000 people that don't know what sharking is. That might not know what sharking is. Even if it's only 1,000 people or 500 people, those 500 people now get to engage with that commentary a little bit better. And understand the game fundamentally more, and maybe even enjoy the game more as what they're watching when they hear live 9 go, hey, that person's sharking. Now they understand, hey, this carbon roller is doing the thing where they into ink and they, are waiting for their opponent trap. Why, maybe why wasn't that carbon moving? Well, now you know why that carbon wasn't moving. They were setting a trap by being within the ink to then go attack the opponents. Maybe the opponents didn't come or something like that, right? So it's something I really enjoy a lot. And I think because I know so much about this, and I notice it a lot with other things like NFL, because I'm a big NFL guy. I'm not like the hardest of hard nerds when it comes to NFL by any means, but when it comes to like I'm not like a stat, like I like my stats and I like looking at stats, but I'm not like the craziest of stats nerds into the big, very, very fine details. But I know a lot of like if it was like, I could go watch using like the IPL versus Nintendo stream. I could go watch an IPL stream and be completely fine. I would know what all these things mean. But like even watching NFL stuff, they don't go quite as in depth as this on the basic stuff. And I think this is something Nintendo does really well. Obviously, those that are watching football are watching a football stream to do that. And same thing with Splatoon to an extent. If you're watching Splatoon, you're doing it for... But also, Nintendo does a lot of other things that are not Splatoon. So I understand that they have to be a little even more casual focused than something like a big NFL stream. But I really like that. And I think they do it. And I like it. I think we should do a little bit more of that. Not necessarily an extreme amount to Nintendo's level by any means, but I think sometimes we as a community use our community words and don't think about the fact that some people may not know them at home. I don't think we necessarily need to dive into what is splat zones, what is tower control as much. they go into significantly more in depth than I think we should. But something like sharking, even something as simple as sharking, which has been a very common word since Splatoon 1, I think this is something we should try to pull more from, especially in our majors, our big events. Your casual weekly, I think they should incorporate it to an extent, but I'm less critical of. But I think something like Super Jump or Riptide, insert major here. I think incorporating a little bit more casual based stuff could go a long way for our community. And I think that from like also including Turf War and things like that, I genuinely believe that we need to reach out more to the casual community as a comp scene. A lot of people want to go, oh, they should reach out to us. No, it should be the other way around. We should make that, I mean, to an extent, it has to be a little bit of a mutual thing, no matter what, right? As a casual, you have to have at least a desire to want to find it, to find the ways. But at the same time, the comp scene needs to have that arm reached out over the lead, like, if you're there, we'll grab you, right? We'll bring you in. Hey, you know what? Maybe the casual side likes to play a lot of Turf War. Maybe we do a little bit more Turf War things. I really like that Nintendo does this. That we have Turf War in there. I think a lot of comp players don't really care for it, and I think that's a problem. Turf War is really fundamental to Splatoon, and it's something that, looking back on how Splatoon 1 came out, is just so nice, because it obviously they force you to early on for new players as well to understand the fundamentals is the idea. But the way Splatoon 1 came out, for those that don't know, is Splatoon 1 came out first with only Turf War. It was the only option in the game. Not long after release, Splat Zones came out. So it's basically Turf War, but you're focused on a target area. You're on a area control. Very easy to understand for the casual player. You're kind of making that step forward, that baby step. Then you have tower controls, like, oh, you're controlling this tower, this very singular point again, just like with zones. However, it moves and it's smaller, and you have to be physically on it. Unlike zones, where you could paint it and move on, right? Most people, you still don't want to move on too much. You want to protect it, blah, 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 blah. But now you're getting that. Now it's like Rainmaker's like, oh, in Splatoon, it was the last mode they added in Splatoon 1. And now it's like, oh, now you have that singular point that matters, but now that singular point can move in lots of different ways, and also a big fish go burr. You know what I mean? Like, the way that came out was just so fundamentally good for the betterment of the people that were new to shooters. And I think in a lot of ways that comp Splatoon would genuinely benefit if we played more Turf War, because there's so many people that just skip Turf War or have not played a lot of Turf War other than Nintendo events in years, or have even, and if they have played Turf War, they haven't thought about Turf War in a meaningful way. It is, we're playing through it to get by it, or we're just going to avoid it as much as possible, which is just so fundamentally wrong. Imagine if we did that for like tower control, right? For Rainmaker, for Clan Blitz, for zones, where we just kind of threw it in a corner and just straight up, like, didn't think about it, tried to ignore it. And it just has those fundamental things that you can learn a lot from and bring those values and those lessons learned into the other modes. Obviously, Turf War is the most extreme because it's the most basic mode, and it teaches you the fundamentals of the game. It teaches you, oh, this is how turf goes. Like, it obviously, like, those things that, like, everyone knows, like, oh, you have to turf ground. Turf ground gives you more ink back. Like, you can't just walk around. It's not COD, right? You can't just run around. You have to paint zone. You have to paint area. Paint area matter. Like, it teaches you that. But it also teaches you, how to control an area. It teaches you, why am I blanking on everything? I just absolutely just lost everything, and it makes me look bad talking about Turf War, because I think it's really fundamentally good. And I think those that thought about Turf War understand that it's very fundamentally good. Trying to do things like conserve specials, working with your team to control the main areas where the key points where you can project power. And one of the biggest things that Splatoon does really, really, really well, one of the things that Splatoon does really, really well is, unlike something like Call of Duty, because you can kind of shoot people from really far away and things like that, the key positions are easier to physically see because you paint the floor, right? You can physically see where, like, oh, if I control stack on Barnacle and Dime, this is basically the area that I'm able to control because I physically can see the paint that I'm putting down, which is just, and you can see the pathways you're controlling, this and that, and you can learn a lot of those fundamental things from Turf War. I could rant on for ages if my brain would half work with me, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm half asleep, and it's almost midnight. But like it's just there's just so much shit that we could genuinely learn from Turf War as a community that would be so much more valuable in ranked modes if we at least incorporated it into our events to an extent. It should be a more common thing. I understand even if there want to be a pushback. Oh, we don't want Riptide. We don't want Super Jump to incorporate that. Those are the majors. I could understand that. I would disagree, but I could understand that. But like, I think a lot of, especially lower level events, should incorporate Turf War because again, it also kind of going back to what started the spiral is we can then reach out more to the casuals and say, hey, you know what, you like Turf War? Cool, we're going to have it. Instead of just immediately being a friction point where it's like, oh, you have to play just ranked modes. Oops, all ranked modes. Oh, you're just playing that one ranked mode, which some people don't necessarily like. Obviously, and I think incorporating more modes has always been more beneficial. At least almost always. There's definitely a few exceptions you could argue it doesn't, but I would argue in almost every example, it benefits to have more modes. But that friction point is always, always, always something that just hurts bringing casuals in. Because they like, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that like Turf War, and if we incorporate it, we could do that. Do a lot of things, Big Dog at IPL. I mean, yeah, but no. You know, it's not, I theoretically could just have always just done whatever I wanted. But at the same time, that's not how organizations work. And doing so would just kill the organization. Because I don't think everyone would, I think most people would disagree with me on that. I'll be honest with you. I think most of them would disagree with that. Or if they would agree with it, they wouldn't care to do so enough that the flame we would get from people would be worth it. And to an extent, I have leverage in certain places still. I theoretically could do it for Riptide, right? Hell, Riptide, I would argue I have more chance to do what I want than I ever did at IPL. Because once IPL became a thing, IPL was a massive organization with multiple events and multiple this and that. I could run a tournament right now if I wanted to with that, and I've contemplated it. It's just not up. It's just not. There's just not time. And I think that's really the biggest thing. It is finding the place, you know. And I always pushed for that historically, more map modes in general when I could. Like I would do that for low ink for a long time. It took basically everyone just saying Kraken no, and literally and Hoenn giving in to it that we had to reduce the amount of map pool. It was something I would fight for years. I fought years for, and it just took basically everyone just saying no, Kraken, we hate you, we hate this, stop it. Yeah, but I won't lie. And I think I could have went about certain things different ways, but that's a story for another time. And some things that I realize now that I could have done better, and I think we can do better, I wouldn't have thought of 4 or 5 years ago, right? So saying I should have done this as Big Dog IPL isn't at all the easiest. Just snap my fingers to do. And yes, I totally like to yap, but I don't. I don't think.
But I don't like.
I as much as I said I wouldn't do it for turf war and zones. I don't think I yap too much about
that they push ahead of the tower.
yap too much about what they do. Not like they did. I'm gonna skip through this here. Let's hop in the action. We've watched what? We haven't even watched a full set. This is usually how my VOD review sessions go. Honestly, I've done a little less VOD review than there's more yapping sometimes, but the way it is. All right.
Both these teams taking their time to select their weapons and their loadouts.
Which, I mean, we're not going to see much changes from TZS, and I'm not surprised. I mean, we're all basically a bunch of one-tricks. Low-level Splatoon tournament. Yeah, I mean, if they advertise low level, maybe they should include turf war.
Splatana Stamper, that alliteration coming through. That's going to have the Booyah Bomb with even more alliteration that's going to come out.
This is a good win here early. I want to watch this over again because I kind of was looking away a little bit. I didn't quite catch it as it kind of switched over. This is this is a good shot there into a bomb. That's just great teamwork there. I don't like how we sent everybody to the right, though. I think we need one right in here. One right in here, one flanking around that's being patient for the others to look this way. This is a little bit too much together. I know Pepe hops over really quickly, so I don't think that kind of mitigates it. But that little bit worried me how clustered we were there.
It appeared Venoc 11 seconds in going to fall, so they're not going to have that special anytime soon. Blob, who's becoming famous for those inkjets, also going to go down. And DRF, maybe not sharking, but getting behind the numbers of Lanaya Kea. That's as good a start for TZS as you could have hoped for.
It really is 9 because you go up 4-2.
Good play there, Fork. Now we need to back off. Right there's is something. Right when this once you get checkpoint, this needs to be a back off. It's a 2v4. This is hanging in the fight too long. Hey, this is great though by Pork. Like, I would argue you could argue against even doing this bubble. But I think knowing Pork, but I think after the checkpoint you immediately just gotta go.
Past the first checkpoint.
It is play for checkpoint and get out.
Getting wiped out. Again, TZS has not
because they're getting
changed up a
swarmed and
single
losing
piece of
numbers,
their composition.
and you're gonna even if they couldn't collapse fast, because I think they got a pick. There was a pick or two down, right? Leading up to there was 2 down, leading up into the checkpoint. So even if let's say they were a smidge slower, another second or two, because obviously they come down and attack this at the same time as the rest of the team. Even if they're a second or two behind, sorry, brain. There you go. Even if it's something too slower, you can potentially get back to a different position or jump out. I think jump out's the call here. I know, as you said, Vapor, they gets tacked from behind, but the problem is he's still trying to play tower. As soon as this is checkpoint, you drop to the left. Like right there, go. As soon as that hits, you start. If anything, you even want to start moving as it finishes. Because that's what Pork is doing. He's trying to survive and stay here longer and push this and force it as far as he can forward when you just don't need to do that. If you go as soon as this hits checkpoint and you start dropping this way, you might get out. I think it would still be a difficult play, but I think these two need to get out. Obviously, again, the carbon is what kills him from behind. But you can see how long he was on there. He had enough time to throw a bomb, move around. It was not a instant attempt to move. They were trying. They were still trying to push with the bubble.
Again, TZS
it is definitely one where there's literally a timer there. Where if there wasn't a timer, I'd say, okay, that's bang bang. That's hard. That's tough. A little tough. But that's we have a timer. We gotta get out of there and start moving back, because there's no way you keep that position with numbers disadvantage. Even if the numbers disadvantage comes a second or two later than it did. Decent inkjet. They're just diving forward here. Good on them. But good defense by TZS. Same time. Good rebound after getting a few down.
It's a chance for TZS here to possibly turn the table.
It totally is. And we see TZS really focusing up on being able to turf up.
There's just a lot of times that we kind of force things just a little bit more than we need to. Just a smidge. Yeah, we talked about Pepe earlier, kind of trying to force a thing, or
my
if
god,
we
the
were just a
double
little bit more
is going to slow
together on
TZS
it,
down
that.
significantly.
But also, I don't think together works for that last instance. That last instance is just straight up forcing it. Just didn't need to happen.
It's a splat there. Blob goes down. Here comes somebody in.
That's that habit of focusing the jump over focusing that, and I'm bad about that too. I need to be better about it too. That's a great jump in, by the way. That was really good. I mean, I don't. It was definitely a risky jump in, but this is a good use of this. Pepe just did a me, and again, focused the jump a little bit over focusing the person that's actually there. It's a good jump though, and I think they were willing to do it because they had cooler, so it didn't matter if they kind of. I don't say it didn't matter if they died, but it significantly less than they mattered if they died. Pepe gets a nice double.
Of the map as we see a wipeout force there against TZS by Lanaya. In fact, her V-Shot can be able to jump in. You don't really have
that was really smart. I will mad shout out that Stamper for that play. That was really good.
This portion, that second checkpoint, as we see two going down off the back of that. Vapor looking for a pick. They're going to get her V-Shot as well, and it's just going to be the tri-stringer with that special online. They'll expend it.
So this is some of what you guys were talking about, huh?
It's all popping off here as we get closer to that halfway point.
More spawning than the salmon grounds right now at this moment for Lanaya K and TZS.
I mean, you guys talk about Carbon being but here through the first minute, I mean, they really weren't a problem. It really was that Stamper was cooking. In this game in particular. I mean, that Carbon rush there, that was... I don't know how Pork missed that. Oh, they were... Are they up on the ledge? They dropped down, or are they already there? Yeah, they're up on the ledge. So Pork missed them dropping. Okay. Because they have to drop here. Yeah, they drop right... They drop right now. They burst one. Oh, Pork knows they're there. They throw a bomb there. Interesting. Yeah, he just didn't catch that Carbon came up the wall there. Wow.
Every single time that TZS gets a defense, somehow the just moves forward, finds one
Interesting.
player, takes it out, and stops any momentum that TZS
Pork rarely misses that I've ever seen. That was just that was a rare Pork mistake. He's usually very vigilant on those sort of things. Anyways, nothing more to say that.
You can see how difficult it is to get any sort of momentum started.
That was one. I think that was one of those. I guess there's one more thing I want to say. It's one of those. We beat ourselves more than we got beat in that play. The Stamper play, for example, is one where the Stamper played good. That was one where Pork kind of beat himself and let the Carbon win that one.
And that's going to be a big loss. Down goes two, and that's going to be very
good inject support. Good rushing. I mean, this Stamper is just rushing with the stuff well. I think it's something we kind of did a little bit better. I think we handled the Stamper a little bit better in the future set. When I played in, we handled it just a smidge better. I think that went a long way. The Stamper is definitely one is instigating and starting everything for this team. You know, the Carbon getting those occasional picks and such. But that Stamper, you see when that Stamper's dead, they're just so passive. So that's something that we're gonna have to, if we play this team again. And I think there's a decently likely chance, assuming they play, because we're similar S skill level. So I think we're gonna find each other. We're gonna have to watch a little bit. Is that?
Map. I think it's gonna be something that TZS really has to focus a lot on this push here, and they've got the mentality, they've got the map control. They take out Nemeka. That's gonna be one of your biggest threats down. But they have
this is okay. Flanking a little bit there. No, that was a concern. We talked about that going into the set.
That's gonna lock down one of their better chances, and they
I see that there. That was
if they want another shot.
Yeah, Stamper's the one that's doing that, which is that I think is probably the worst flank. For us, just because they have so much range. I think it would have to. The only one that really could effectively do it is either someone sharking really far behind, or Baker's gonna have to. You're gonna have to watch that purely. That's pretty tough to do as an expo. Probably just someone watching from behind.
Nice job by Vapor closing that out. Now needs to find Blob, but when long-range weapons go against each other, the one on the tower has a little extra defense. That little tiny piece, I promise it will protect you if you use it right. This is all coming up.
That was a silly fight. That was silly. It's smart by David to use it. Smart to kind of use a little bit. Also smart by the shot to kind of use it, or the zap. Especially the zap used it a little bit better there. And then just watching the angle shooter come in and clean that up is just funny. Here's Booyah. That's a smart splashdown. That was good. Didn't work, but it was good. Or I mean, it works, but it didn't work for the beyond that. And Stamper did work. They really cooked in that game in particular.
They were able to get past that second checkpoint, and that's when things can really go your way, and they did an excellent job fortifying the tower at that point.
They totally did, and like Nine said, you just saw so much chaos happening at that one straightaway. And you know what? Lanai Kea being able to push that tower as far as they did, using their specials, using their, just, I don't know, it was just like a dogfight there. It was just everything was happening at the same time.
Yeah, it was really exciting. We'll update the bracket here in just a moment. A very
So that's the end of the
exciting
set
winner semis,
there.
But it's Lanai Kea with a 3-0 sweep, and
So we see that set there. That's the end there. So they don't spec this one. They spec winners finals. So I come back and lose your semis. No, I think the splash gen was good. It was a really good call. So we're gonna skip forward till we find. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to VOD review this one. But that's definitely one I want to look at myself. Hey, look at that. There's Riptide stuff. So we're just gonna hop right into this here. This is a set I'm in, which I have like what 2 good games, 2 bad, or 1 bad game in this one, or something like that. There's definitely a couple where I'm gonna come back and yell at myself quite a bit for. There's some other ones I play pretty well. Hey, look, I get talked about. I love watching myself paint the opening here because I immediately do a circle.
You see a new dancer at the ballroom right now, Kraken Mare, one of the most. I don't even know how to talk about. Diligent, we will say,
Speechless is
infamous. That's what we'll say. With the ink brush here, which is a weapon that
Thanks,
a lot of
Nye.
people associate with Clam Blitz because of how mobile it is. It can work around and get clams from basically anywhere, and also
I
can
whiff this so
fire at
hard.
People, get in and out, move around.
I whiff it, and then
Difficult
with the
for
support, you
opponent
guys
to
helped me
hit
get
you.
that.
Get up close
I
to
should
a
not have
super
gotten that
few
fight.
times.
That 52 should have punished me.
Difficult
This should have been a 52 punish.
because of how mobile it is. It can
Right
work around
about
basically anywhere.
there. Right here, I should be dead. Right, they hit me once. They missed the next shots. I should have been dead there. 100%. I have to hit that shot. I missed shots and slightly miscalculated where the 52 was. I thought the 52 would go like right in here, roughly, and they went up here, which surprised me. That caught me off guard. You can kind of see that I play for that, and I mean I gotta hit those. That's one I gotta react to a little, just a smidge better. I try to use my range a little bit and kind of catch them off guard. But they dove that when I didn't expect him to do it. And that took a little bit of help there. I won't lie. That is, I am glad I had a team.
Will probably be the first to build a power clam, but TZS already taking another one out here. Now 2 go
Pepe makes a
down.
nice
This is
double
the way
here.
They wanted to start.
Oh, TZS hoarding the clams right now.
And I can just throw a bomb, run back. I run back because I thought they were going to dive the bubble, and I wasn't ready because I just threw a bomb down.
They do, and they're hopefully by putting down that.
I remember screaming to Pepe, just run, Pepe, and he just couldn't. He just couldn't look at he had no paint behind him. Run, Pepe, run! And he just hits the full of ink.
By putting down that bubbler, they that they could make a more of a meaningful push than 8.
Well, I hope we can work together well. I mean, that's my hope.
But
I'm definitely a player that does better with higher synergy than with less synergy. I'm definitely a player that I want to know my players and play well with them. It takes me a little while, but when it snaps, it snaps.
oh my God, TZS.
Look at me just
down
zooming
and
around the Kraken.
already
Whoop,
in
whoop,
TZS
whoop,
space,
whoop. Look at it, just
taking the lead
he's trying to get me. Like,
Sometimes you risk too much when you strike.
it got vapor, but there wasn't much I could do. I'm like, Kraken's coming in. I think I calmed that. I'm pretty confident that he's coming. Maybe I could have said a little bit better, but I gotta get there's a couple kills in this one. I'm just like, I gotta get those, and that was another one that I really would have preferred to have.
The
kill that work.
Smork gonna be able to get the pick there on Mox as well, and TZS, despite that, holding down.
This is me and Pepe working together. I'm really happy with that. We're gonna score. I'm like, oh, we can score. Because Pepe, there's 2 behind, and Pepe we get 1. And I score a bunch here. And I like that you come forward. I jump all the way back to the ball. I mean, it's true. Who doesn't do better with more synergy? But there are people that do well that can just pick up with whatever team and do decent. And there's some people that do better, right? It's kind of that. There's some people that are linear that obviously right. Let's get a graph, right? Let's make a graph. You get 2 graphs. Yeah, we're getting graphs out today, baby. There's some people that may be like this, kind of roughly, where it's more linear. a little bit more than that. And then there's some people that are more kind of your exponential nature, right? Where a little bit of synergy doesn't go very far. And I'm definitely one of those kind of players. Like always, yes, more synergy. I'm too lazy to label it. I'm too lazy to label it. I was going to. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. No, who needs proper graphs? Like some people are, like I said, obviously in general, the more synergy you have, the better you're gonna play. Like it just, no matter what, on the ends of the graph, they're still gonna be there. But some people can just grab any team and do pretty decently with. They're gonna have more skill right off the rip with that team. I'm one of those players that I'm not gonna lie, I am not great in pickups. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy playing with people, but I'm definitely a player that will struggle in pickups a little bit more than the average player at the same skill level, because the way that I play and the way it's a me thing. It's like, it's not at all dissing the players I play with. It is straight up a way I am. And I want to know what my teammates are doing. I want to play off that. And I do that a lot more of an extent, I think, than some other people do. And especially, someone like a frontliner who's the one usually engaging those fights. And someone who wants to kind of be the glue of a team. I want to be everywhere. I don't know where I need to be if I don't know the players. So I feel like when synergy is off, even with my own team here with TZS, like we haven't played for a while, I feel like I feel it more than a lot of others. Just because, again, trying to be the glue, trying to be kind of in the middle, I need to be with everybody at different times, and I can misjudge that depending on what synergy we have. So, yes, you're right. Everyone does better with more synergy, but we're more nuanced than just that. Try to be more nuanced than that.
What an explosive push here for TZS, and I'm starting to see why they wanted to come to Clan Blitz.
And TZS does have the advantage here with under 3 minutes left to go, and that can shift their mentality here, Milana, because now you could possibly.
I feel like I didn't use the right word, but
really
I'm too lazy to care. English hard.
And I just wanted to bring back
as long as you get what I mean, that's good enough for me.
Passively, we just want to play defensively. So if they choose to do that, that is totally fine.
I'm gonna take a trade here. I'm a little bit iffy on. One of their balls start to push up. I'm gonna take a trade on it. Like that. No, that's not this push. It's a later push. Is that one? Yeah, no, I go. That isn't this push. That's a later push, I think, that happened. Because I kill somebody right where that suction bomb is, and it's like a trade. But it helps. Maybe it's this one where I think this one I do get a kill, though. I get a bomb damage there. Yeah, I get the 52 there with the bomb? Something like that. Get another one. And then we just sweep. This is really good on us. This is good teamwork.
4-2 for a moment with two specials. The advantage for TZS. They've got the lead, and they were able to push Bad Villain out of there.
Yeah, for Bad Villain, holding on to 2 power claims.
I think weird weapons in general. In general, it definitely affects weapons that are less good. The weaker your weapon is in this game, the more you need synergy to do a lot. Stronger weapons, they can be more independent. So, I mean, that's definitely probably a little bit, I would guess. In general, TZS is a team that feels that more than most. But brush on brush crime here. We gotta go back. Brush on brush crime. We need to see it. I knew there was somebody there. I'm surprised. I thought they were looking at me from the rip. I didn't realize they looked away. I thought they saw me. They didn't see me. Because I was wondering at the time. I was very surprised I got this trade. I thought I was gonna just straight up lose. But I was like, I'm gonna shark this top. I'm gonna try to shark this top here. You can see I'm on the other side. They know I'm there. They know I could be around there. But they thought I might be coming around the backside, I think. Because look, they shoot there, don't get a hit. So they assume I'm on the other side. And they're right that I should be there. They were right. I just didn't realize they weren't tracking me anymore. They had lost track of me. That they saw that I went up the ledge, so they at least saw I went up the ledge. They might have saw I went up the ledge, but they didn't catch where I was. So that's good for me. That's better than I thought I did. Okay.
No fear. A random splat bomb at the top of the
Because I totally just went fuck it, trade, and I almost get out of this. I mean, if this 52 doesn't hit this fall off shot or hit this shot as the first or second shot there, I don't know if I want to see this. Let's see how this. I just want to see how this 52 hits me. If it was like a fall off shot, kind of in the fire, or like yeah, okay. They knew where I was, took advantage of it. That's what I thought in the time. But I totally was just like, yeah, I just want to slow him down a little bit. I know I can slow him down enough that I can make it a 3v3. My goal is to make it a 3v3 with a defensive advantage around the basket. Which, I mean, maybe I could have fought to keep the middle a little bit more. I died to a suction bomb plus the auto bomb. I'm like, I can rush through the auto bomb. I don't see the suction bomb right here. There's a suction bomb. You can't really see it right here. I was so confused. I was so confused why I died. I'm like, I should take damage. I didn't see the extra bomb, but I saw this explosion. I'm like, what the? In the moment, I was even like, what the hell? But no, that I knew I was taking damage to that auto bomb. I was 100% ready to take damage. I was not ready to tank that. Pork makes a nice bomb, or makes a nice kill here. And this is a good rush. I mean, look at this. We just hold forward. Beautiful job by our team here. I mean, I went for the back person here. If you see what I do, I'm going to watch for my POV, I think. Again, we're going to watch this again later. This is going to be a long-ass stream. What have I got myself into? You can see I rush past people here, kind of. I'm looking for this ball carrier. And I over-pursue him. I pursue him here. Because I knew he had to retreat with my team coming to the front. I actually pursue him here, trying to catch them on the way out. And then I ignore the jump. I'm glad I did that. Like, that's what I should be doing more. I'm really happy about that play for my POV, because that's something I thought looked over my gameplay and something I want to do a little bit more. If I know I have team support, call out a jump, ignore it. Kill the other person, then come back to the jump if I have to. I want to do that more. And there's going to be times where I don't do that. I 100% didn't do that all the time in this event, especially early on. I have to check the I don't remember it fully in the event, because I was less thinking about those sort of things and what I need to adjust in the big picture. Just run over that person over there. That rapid almost did something. And then I'm just like, I'm gonna sneak in. Pork's fighting.
TZS finds the end zone, and they take the very first game in this loser semifinal match over Bad Villain, and we saw it. It was that second push that they had.
So like, I'm really happy with the way that this one went.
All the way down to 11, and you talk about.
I feel like the fundamentals are there. It's a lot of nitpicky.
They did everything they needed to take the most that they could in that second push.
Well, and the last push there may be indicative more than anything of their play style up to this point. 24 clams to their name when they only really needed 11 to get going. That's part of why, even though there was so much carnage below the basket, they were able to make it worth despite losing a couple of members there. So I think they kind of maybe planned for that contingency, or just had so much map control that they could kind of roam around.
It's funny they mentioned that, you know, and it's a really good point, because I honestly, as a commentator, I wouldn't have talked about this. We had over 24 clams right here, right? Plus that, because Pork was able to get more. That it was just the way we were. Honestly, that's just the way we are. Over plan a little bit, which I'm glad.
That's a strategy there,
out there.
If you realize the other team needs a lot of clams to get back in, why not hoard them for yourself? Take all the resources away, right? Work for the boomers. Here it is in this situation.
Was not ready for that.
Sure works great, sure. It's well, no. To your
look at all of us. Look at all of us slightly younger folk laughing at that joke in pain. All of them are in pain. They're laughing, but they're in pain.
To your point,
that was a good one,
that is
Jordan.
one of the things about Clamblitz that is so interesting. The clams spawn in little pods, you could kind of call them, of 3. So that means that if you have control of
hey, I love a little out-of-pocket comms on Nintendo stream.
They don't spawn
doesn't happen very often.
To spawn areas too often.
It was good. It was a good comment.
You can even toss
the boomers that are buying my game, well, getting their money back for it. No one else has money.
They drop when you get taken down or something along those lines. But the moment we saw Clamblitz and the moment we saw Krakenmare get subbed in on that ink brush there, the stars started to align. That was a dominant game from TZS from start to finish.
It really was. And so
yeah, we went clams there out of like off rip, kind of like keeping the consistency there, because you guys did that with every other set. So I think in the other 2 sets we go turf first, and I think that's the right call for us still. I think that it forces everyone to play turf. And if we have mode choice in our favor, playing the weirder modes is better. We like our weirder modes, and forces the opponents to kind of play. They can play the more common modes if they win the weird modes. And I say weird modes when like Clam Blitz is fine. Like it's good. I would even argue it's probably the best mode in this game. And I think that is probably a little bit more favorable than adding turf to comp. But anyway, sorry for nothing.
X mode, we go to our resident dunking expert, Big Money here, and we haven't talked quite about the start to Rainmaker, because a lot of times getting to that first checkpoint.
Do we go Rainmaker
So
next, or we go turf
up
war?
time for you gonna fight.
This game can have a
Shots are actually going to trickle over into Rainmaker. It's very much that.
Oh, so we must have picked Rainmaker next.
Certain again, and of course Undertow Spillway Rainmaker push.
That's right. We played safe early. This set we played it a little bit safer as like we did that out of like you guys had been playing it a certain way. You guys weren't comfortable with turf, especially in David and Pepe said that. I mean, straight up when we were playing, they weren't feeling as comfortable with turf. So I think that was something we kind of wrapped in more when I got there, and Rainmaker was the other thing we kind of wrapped in. I don't know if you guys picked Rainmaker at all when I was gone.
Undertow Spillway.
This is right up my, those are my three choices for modes right off rip is those three. I know Rainmaker's one that we won't, that isn't preferred to touch if I'm not there.
Gazing at these loadouts, any changes that we've seen from our last game.
Well, there's the S blast.
You can see, I love this. You can just see me before I join back every single time.
It will just be the dominance of a weapon.
Because I mean, it gets me like half my special right off bat, so it's kind of worth it to do. This time was a little bit slow. This is one of my slower opens to get whale. I probably should have held it here. I think I should have held it in hindsight. But I get the trade on it, so I'm not mad about it. So I'm happy with that trade. I'm not mad about it. But maybe I could have played that a little better. I think maybe I could have went back and kind of held this area a little bit better while holding whales. I could have played in and around this area. Maybe even up in here. That's something I think I could have done better myself here. I mean, it wasn't the worst play in the world. It definitely was better than me just straight up dying, but definitely could have been way better there. And this game is one that I don't think I play as well. This one, I definitely was. I think my weakest game of the night, personally. I just don't feel like I'm in the right positions almost ever. I don't feel like I'm in the right position when I need to be. Like this, we'll take a trade. I'm okay with that. Again, maybe could have played that with a bomb again. I kind of want to see that from my POV. That's some of the tough thing of watching this and kind of talking about yourself, which is part of why I want to go back and watch it from my own POV after discussing this. And watching it from the Nintendo stream is what I could have done better. The better way to know what you could have done better sometimes is just seeing what you could have done. That's one I didn't really, you only caught a little bit of that one. But it's the advantage for TZS on the stage. Oh, we just gotta go. You see, I was a little worried there to just jump the. After I saw him, like right here, I was like, oh shit. Oh, okay. And then you can see I go for the cutoff position because I knew if they just turn and kill me, it's a trade at best. It's a trade at best for me. And this is, I'm happy with this going quickly because I said, Pork, let's go. It's just one. And as soon as he bubbled, I'm just holding forward. Because this is a great play here. I'm really happy with this, though. I'm really, really happy with this.
Pepe and TZS.
And I just know. Look at this. I just trust. This is just pure trust. I know my. I want to hear what they say on that.
TZS bust through the opposition.
Like this is great here because I knew. Okay, I knew just to give you an idea what's going through my head. This one is. I see there's only a 52 gal. Let's go. Let's put pressure here. My goal, I didn't know where Pork was in terms of bubble. We knew he didn't have bubble, but I knew he was there.
And you see here,
What I see right here is I see one here, one really far, because I whale, right? You can see my whales obviously are marking people. People are coming out of spawn. I got a couple marks up there. So it is just hold the fuck forward here. There's 2 on the right, 1 down. Sorry, 1 on the right, 2 out of spawn, and another one down. Just go. And then here, now there's nobody behind us right away. The brush, what I see for, I don't think they turned my POV until a little bit late. But I see right here, right? I knew there's one behind. That was called out. That was calmed, which is awesome. Yeah, you yelled go, and I was already starting to go. Like, as soon as you yelled go, I'm already going. When we watch my POV, you're going to go, like, you're going to hear it. I'm like, you yell go, like, as I'm going right here. Because I realized one behind me, Pork is fighting, and I'm already going to get swept from behind, so I might as well hold forward. And then this works out right here. This is like, okay, Pepe got 1. There's 1 behind me. I have to keep holding forward either way. I cannot slow down. It is just gun it until I die. It is gun it till I die was my goal here at this point. And then it's just dodge here, dodge at 52, where they're going to look, dodge a bit, and just go for it. Like, that was my mindset at that point.
Just like that, TZS bust through the opposition.
That was, number 2. I made awful plays in terms of KD there that I really wish we could have done. But the Rainmaker play, I'm really, really happy with here. I think that was... And, I mean, pretty much every fight I took was related to the Rainmaker and it was a trade. I think every death but 1. Maybe all 3. Because I think I went like 2 and 3 or 1 and 3 here. And I think every single death I had was Rainmaker trades. Or... maybe I went 3 and 3 on this one. And yeah, I mean, it was just, oops, Rainmaker play for me. That's all I did. You can see I'm just around the Rainmaker the entire time, offensive or defensive, which has its pros and cons.
So you can go around to the right and take an uninkable path if you feel.
I want to hear what Tom said because I'm curious.
TZS, they take the
path. Smork holding on, using that big bubbler, hoping to give a little bit of cover, and Pepe with that Trizuka, hoping to get one, maybe 2 picks, and this might be TZS's chance to get the lead.
Pepe and TZS, they take the lead after getting through the first checkpoint. What a push! They're looking for the dunk. They want that knockout. Wow! Just like that, TZS busts through the opposition. They take game number 2, and this looked like Zach Bad Villain was going to possibly control this game, but no, TZS had something else to
Nothing
say.
crazy,
yeah,
but
funny
I
enough,
kind
there's
of
also a Horseshoe of Death on this map, and they opted not to take it. So you can go around to the right and take an uninkable path if you feel like you don't have the
There's no reason to go that way for us.
to make it through. But
Cats was there.
Specials expended to get to that point. They had the big bubbler right on top of that first pedestal. They had the Trizuka right behind it or to the left of it to make sure that they had enough range. Even though you're so far away from that spawn, they're filtering in actively as you go in. And nice job there by the Rainmaker carrier to just kind of duck, dodge, dip, dive, and dodge their way right to the Rainmaker pedestal.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a special if you're trying to get
Hell
to
yeah.
the final podium.
Yeah.
That's a reference that might go over the head of 60% of the Splatoon
Yeah, I know that reference. Jordan, I got you. Dodgeball reference. Let's go.
community. It's all good. And so
9. Look, he's like, come on, man. Why else? Young. I know that one. You wanted to say that.
To possibly even this up, the TZS
9 wants to do that. You could.
Here, Bad Villain. We thought they were going to have a chance.
You can see. He's like, he knows that no one's going to get this one. But he knows it.
Villain, here you are. You're hanging by a thread. You're going to get knocked out of the top 8 here if you don't pick up.
Oh, well, okay, I didn't go back far enough. I don't care.
This is also the time if you're going to reach into your hat and pull out a rabbit, you want to go with something that you think the opponent has absolutely no chance on. And
I like that we get stuff in faster here. Another reason we should get stuff fast is this helps the teams.
That was promised. It's here. Hey.
Yes, we're going to talk about it. I love it. I love that we force them to go on Turf War. I really do. I think making them play Turf War is huge, and I think it's good visibility for community.
You've got nothing left. You've tried Clamblitz. You've tried Rainmaker. You feel like you can't keep pace with them in the more measured modes. Let's go back to where it all began, baby. Turf War.
You want to explain what it is?
And to an extent, I don't necessarily like that it's the weird ball, but he kind of is, let's be honest.
Simple. It's this one. The stage, your game, the intent of
we're going to skip through this.
We want
here, Zach.
Infamous weapons that we have range, short string. One of
I
the
don't hear this.
most famous or infamous weapons that we have for is going to be the Reflux, which did get a new variant recently.
Lux.
Short
Yeah, he's just kind of going over weaponry that they hope to see.
It's turf, turf, turf. So you want to where there's
Arrows.
Yes.
weapon, the S Black.
They had to talk for so long, by the way, because it just took forever for games to come in. They do play Lux here. I want to pull up something on my end, which I have the game up, but you guys can't see it. I'm going to check something really quick. I think this game I absolutely cook on. I just don't remember. Oh, did my game go to sleep? I think my game went to sleep. Because I was having it in the background so it could be noise. My bad. It is, we can hide this. You guys can see what I'm doing. So, oh, I can't hear it on my side because I muted it. Oh, you guys can't see it either. That's crazy. That's crazy. Capture card, you silly goose. No. Anyways, come on. I don't want to. I big runs over. I know. Challenge available. Thank you. I just kind of want to look over those games because, well, I'm thinking about because it's game 3 and we sweep this, I believe. So, like, obviously we're gonna go back and look at the replay codes, anyways. Yeah, we lose those ones. Let's go back to here. So, yeah, this one. I'm really happy with this game. I think this game went well. It's where I wanted to be. A couple small tweaks, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, 1 and 3. I knew it was awful. I knew this was bad. But like I said, everything I did was around the Rainmaker. So like I'm happy with my objective play. I definitely want to see a tweak in how I play defense there. But yeah, I cook on this one too. So it's a fun game, fun set. You can see we immediately go back to turf here. Spoiler alert. There's our rest of our sets. Anyways, let's go back to turf war. Well, here, I'll leave it so again we have some background audio. Leave that back the way it is, like the way it was supposed to be. But I guess after I talk for like 2 hours, it goes to sleep mode or something. That's good. I guess I don't need to hide that. I need to unhide the other one. Okay, there we go.
Semifinals. These loadouts tonight at Barnacle and Dime Turf War. What a wonderful.
I mean, we don't change anything other than port.
Well, there's the Reflux. Zach promised it. Jordan also switching over to another favorite.
So we change this a little bit. I go and paint this top area. You can see on that arrow on the top. So you got, because we changed our approach here. So I kind of want to see how this works with you guys up front. And it works out pretty good. I like the way you guys hold this. This is good. This is what we should see. And then once I clear up the top right, I go, okay, I'm going to come join you guys in mid over staying back. Which, I don't know how you guys feel about that. That could be something. You can see I pick up Pepe there. Look at me. I'm just, okay, just zoom in. Okay, I see an opening. We're going to take it. Oh, 52? Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this fight. I knew I could just skill issue him, and I should have skill issued him. I didn't. It's a skill issue on my part. This is a winning fight right here. This is one I should win. I just overcommit. I just undercommitted with the whales a little bit. You can see I hesitated my clicks too. Like you see I underclick there a little bit. I hesitate. I should have gotten that one clean. Or at least been another kill and a trade on my death. So that's one that I should have done significantly better. I should have probably I would love my bomb maybe a little bit more to the left here that I throw to kind of paint this a little bit better, because I kind of threw it right around this pole. Or if I put it a little bit more here, it paints the retreat. So I would love this instead on the right side of the pole and the left side of the pole. If this was here, they still take damage and not die. They take more damage. Right? I don't think they took damage from the bomb. And you see how I would have painted that? And that was kind of my idea in the hind is what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to cut them off and then pursue it. But unfortunately what I do is I didn't cut them off. And so they're able to retreat from this, and that kind of makes it an iffy fight where I should have retreated. Once I didn't get this bomb there, I should have maybe retreated. At the same time, I have a complete opportunity here, and I just miss. I just miss a little bit to the left. I over aim to the left here,
I think it really
where
does depend.
right there I overcommit here. When if I commit maybe a little bit more in the middle, I kill them as they move, because you can see they get hit here right at the edge. They're gonna, my next swing's gonna miss. I hit him again as I turn, but if I would have hit one of those in the middle and maybe a little bit faster on the click in the proper, more consistently, I get that one. And that's something I just gotta win. That's one I gotta win. I again, I have a few of those throughout the events, and just kill me. They just kill me. I mean, you can never clean up everything and make everything perfect, but there's just few I just feel like, man, I really should just have that.
At this moment, and now you have an opportunity here with Bad Villain.
This is smart. I mean, we're playing smart here. We're cleaning up everything. Pepe feels like he has something. I'm trying to see if I can find it with you guys. So I go for Whale. Once we have Whale, I'm just like, we go.
Yeah, it really is. You have the tactical core set up for Bad Villain. Again, just this map is one
Get
of
the
the
kill and I get out. We get another trade there.
Not happening around the 30-second mark.
Probably should have painted that lower area a little better. I was aware it was going to fall off, and it just wasn't there.
Up until that point, their location spotted out, but there's only so many ways.
This is great lockout for the most part, where we wanted to be. Maybe I slightly over forced there. I should have waited for Pepe. When I go there, is there anybody there? Am I just being an idiot?
Thankfully not happening.
I think I just kind of loop around where I should have just held right there.
30-second mark. Cats, in fact,
I kind of thought maybe I could find something there, and I shouldn't have. Maybe or I should have been more patient there. I think I should have been more. I think I'm okay with that play. I need to do one of two things. I need to be more patient and just chill here, because I kind of I go for this S blast, which that S blast has historically caused some trouble. So I'm thinking about it in the moment, I don't hate it, but thinking about it after, what I could do is that I play a little bit more patient there. Especially if it wasn't Turf War. Especially if it wasn't Turf War. Play more patient there. That's 100% the right answer. With Turf War, it kind of varies based on that. You can see they're trying to paint this corner. They know to watch for this. Like, if I play a little more patient, I probably get the 52. Then I have a shot at the S Blast. Instead of the other way, where the 52 gets a guaranteed kill, basically, on me. The other way is I just sit back in general and wait for Pepe, and I think that probably makes a little bit more sense when we are in lockout position, overtaking the fight. And maybe I even hold in the forward position until Pepe gets there. That's something I think there. Those are my two deaths, though, in that game, were those two things. I'm clean the rest of the game. I go, oh shit, that should have went bad on my side, the 52 gal. And it didn't. That was a funny fight, where I just run into the back of 52 gal, basically. They just solo missile Pork there. That was a big mistake, because I remember Pork's like, I just got solo missile, and I'm like, really? Like, it was my mental thought was,
really try to take a couple out. Instead, they've waited, and Kraken says, hey, maybe you waited a little too long.
Milana, 40 seconds left. Bad Villain still in the lead, but now Mare trying to advance forward, and this could be where TZS with
we get another pick. That was a good bomb, and I'm just okay. I'm just gonna go get that next one. We'll just go get him. This Lux could have punished potentially there, but they just weren't ready enough. That was a lucky bomb, but that's fantastic. Like, it's a well-placed bomb, but it's lucky it got the kill on that jump.
Moving in, Pepe going down, but you know we do see that danger sign on Bad Villain.
By the way, Vapor, on the like floater thing, it just depends on the position. Like, let's go with this. If it's in your area of attack, you can hit faster than I can. If it's just anywhere on the map, it just depends on distance a little bit, but also like, I can get to a spot faster than you can on average. But like, if it's in your area of attack as kind of the floater, you're in a better position because you have a very large area of attack. So like, that's kind of, so pop up the map again. I won't pop the map, I'm lazy. But you know, give a general map, right? Let's imagine this is Hagglefish, right? This is the big boxes in the middle. This is the tent. The zone is here, right? Tent here, right? Kind of whatever. Kind of design, right? My awful ass drawing on the fly. I didn't even realize I was gonna go Hagglefish until midway through that. Okay, like if you're here on tent, you have an area of attack. You can cover all of this, kind of cover into zone. You can for sure cover into zone. Like you have a big area of attack. So if the person's right here fighting Pepe, you can help. But if I'm there, I can't do anything. But if I'm over here in spawn still, right? This is spawn, whatever. Right? It goes more over here. But whatever. If I'm here, I can't do shit. Like, if we both were here, you probably can get there still faster just because of your area of attack distance. But to get to this position, let's say we need to physically both get to this position to do anything, I'm going to get there faster. So it's both a true and a false statement. It's very much a situational thing. Who can get there first between the two of us?
14 seconds left. TZS trying to wrestle it away, but an opportunity.
And I think we both, because of our positions, naturally have to do a little bit of floating. Because as a backline, you have to be adjusting to your team and moving to them. And as, like I said, I try to be a glue person, as I like to say, bouncing around whoever needs me at any time. Like, that also is indicative of that.
Roman's gonna have to make sure they get the splat.
It's a good splat though. They just don't realize in the background I'm gonna take down 2 right here. I get a free double, and Port gets 1, and it's just a victory in us.
It's gonna be awfully close because
if I die there, there's a chance we lose that game though. It's like in hindsight, I wish I would have probably went for this one first. But it worked out.
2 seconds remaining. It's gonna be
because if I trade with the heavy, let's just say the S-Blast turns and hits the direct, I'm okay with that. That's a neutral paint, roughly. But that heavy, if they win that fight, if I kill the S-Blast and the heavy gets to shoot, there's a chance we lose that game. There's a chance. It'd be still small. But they could probably flip 50p on their own. Of course, Port getting that kill too really helps.
They were able to do enough down the
yeah, you weren't getting out of that gal. That gal hunted your ass down.
Zach, that was exhilarating.
I mean, let's go back to it.
On Bad Villain's side, they're gonna have to make something happen.
14 seconds
Can't
left.
miss. Yeah, best thing you can do is try to maybe. The only thing when you have a 52 beaming at you, assuming no teammate can help you. The only option that you have is maybe squid roll into a corner and try to jump out, jump over the edge and jump out.
TZS trying to wrestle
but you fighting this, once you fight it, you've lost. As soon as you took that shot, you lost.
Opportunity for Bad Villain Roman.
Especially with it not connecting. If it connected in like a 90, you might win that fight. Or at least trade out, right? Obviously, there's another explosion from something. I think is a burst bomb. Or if you swim all the way back to like the stack, maybe you can get out because there's somebody on the stack. Yeah, no, I just saw a suction bomb. Yeah, no, it was yeah, Pork's up there. So if you swim all the way back, you might have a chance to live because Pork's there to help. But it wasn't Pepe like I thought it was. Pepe must be there because that suction bomb comes from mid. He must have jumped in. Oh no, Pepe's all the way over here. Where that suction? Oh, Pork is not the junior. My bad. That was Pork's bomb. That's a great pick though by Pork. I really like that pick. That was huge to keep that Lux from painting a little bit at the end. Because you know Luxus can flip so much paint really quickly.
This is one of the tricky ones, and it goes to TZS. They were able to do enough down the stretch, and they get the sweep. Zach.
Try to hit the splash on their first shot. Yeah, that's fair. Which, I mean, you just got nothing on it. I understand you don't get the directs, but yeah.
Well, and I think we need to break it down
I like breakdown.
Using such a small section of the map when you have so much real estate to work with. It's so funny how everything gets condensed. Look at how little of an area they're playing on here. Look, there's all this map over here. They're not using any of it. That's why this pedestal right there is so important. As we play the clip and go through what Smork is doing,
board.
Their job is breaking apart this splash wall. You see they're on the sort of Horseshoe of Doom again, the uninkable area, expending the Killer Whale 5.1 and playing that more so security guard aspect, guarding their team as they push forward. And Roman using the range to try and get Kraken Mare. The Rainmaker carrier.
I don't think get an assist on that one, by the way. I think somebody else kills him before I do. Because there's a couple fights. Because my only kill in that game was that Rainmaker initial. So this one I didn't even get an assist on. Someone else killed him before I got there.
You can see that defender-sided wise, TZS still with the high ground advantage. So over here and up here, they're basically not only able to see everything, but predict which of the two major paths that they might want to go to. So
major paths? That's not a major
either
path.
go toward this back bridge right here or around this
Ain't nobody
horseshoe.
take
And
that
we know
path.
what they opted for. They opted for the
Almost nobody takes that path, but yeah, I understand why Zach is pointing that out, because people can take that path.
bridge to
But,
try and push it
I mean,
forward.
it's super
And that's how,
rare.
of
I think
course,
we end up
TZS was
using it
able to
actually in the
frame
other
this
set
one.
as like a
Just
slowdown
looking
point,
at a push like
actually.
this one shows you
I
that
recall
again,
remember
even
doing
with
that
a
in this weekend.
3-0 on the match score sheet, it was not always that far apart.
Zach, well done. As we check out the bracket, thank you again for the expert breakdown. We're going to have a rematch in losers finals. That was in our winners semifinals. Lanai K had the 3-0 sweep.
I kind of want to hear this because
over
we're going to be talking
TZS,
probably a lot about
but remember, it
TZS
wasn't
because we're
that
back to back here.
close. It was closer than it actually looked in that last matchup in winners semifinals. So an opportunity for TZS to get some retribution when it matters the most. Losers finals is coming up here in just a moment between these two teams. And so you get into a situation here, Nine, where you are Lanai Kea. You won last time. You don't really change anything.
I just kind of want to hear
but
this. I'm kind of
TZS
curious.
is the team now that's going to make the adjustments.
Well, I've wanted to talk about this, and I'm happy, so happy that TZS has made it back this far. Because what was the variable that changed in that last set? It was Kraken Mare coming in on the brush. Now, DRF, a proud tri-slosher player here and a strong one too, and I salute you for playing that weapon. That's not always the most fun when you're the first one into every fight. But the dynamic entirely changes when you have an Ink Brush on your team. Suddenly the mobility is in your favor. Suddenly you have a special that Jordan noted. He just put it down. That Killer Whale 5.1 is going to do the job for you. But it also
Does do
gives
some
you
work
a
for me. I'm
lot of
lazy.
splat bombs, and especially in that Umami game last time, we were like, wow, that splat bomb sure is getting a lot of people down here. It's the true great evil. We talked about main weapons and special weapons, but the sub weapons, don't forget about them, especially that one. So
He's just a
in
very
that
sub
last set that they played against Lanai Kea,
a
they were
team that does
getting
well with it.
outpaced. They were getting jumped upon by the short range weapons. Now you've brought the fastest weapon maybe in the game now to this fight here. It's certainly going to make this look a little different if they stick with it.
And we played against Ink Brushes a lot here, Milana. It is really difficult when all of a sudden you have this distracting fly buzz by you with a brush, and it diverts your attention, and that mobility.
I'm kind of surprised Nine didn't talk about. I'm kind of surprised they didn't shit on my build. I'm kind of waiting for that. I wonder if Nine wanted to a little bit in the Umami game, because there was kind of that weird opening. I'm gonna go back and listen to it intensively later. I'm kind of surprised, because they talk about the brush, because it is definitely a fly. I do play like a fly, but not quite like other brushes. They play a lot more like that fly, like a visible fly. I'm not one that just comes up and fucking bites your ass. You're like, what the fuck?
And brought up.
It's
That can
more my
change so much,
style,
especially,
but,
especially in some of the objective-based.
at the
games
same
that we have
time,
here.
it definitely is.
Actually,
interesting.
I've had the misfortune of playing against Kraken, and really it just, like you said, infamous is a great word to describe the way in which this player plays. And it's just, like
Good,
you said,
that's why I wanna
it
be.
will make it so that your team's momentum is just moving faster. You move faster towards the objectives. You move faster past the objectives, and being able to shark,
I mean, I'm glad that this is being recognized, because this is all goals that I have, right? As a player, is what I want to do is to be. I don't want to say I want to be infamous, but I like to do things my way, and so sometimes that becomes being infamous, I guess. But I definitely want to always be able to be there quickly and move quickly to things. So I really like that they kind of recognize that. That's why I do the build I do, is to maximize the speed I can get to somewhere, but I like having that Ninja Squid. So it's like, shit, I want to have Ninja Squid. This is a core aspect to the way that I play. However, let's maximize my mobility to get there. So
being able to take out other members of the opponent team. It's just, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Good.
4 is coming up, and this was a mode that was not played the last time Lanai K and TZS faced
you
off
guys didn't
against
play
each
Turf War at
other
all,
in
or
winter
something. Which, I
semis.
mean,
So now
you guys
take
didn't
a
control
look at
mode for
this,
most of
and
it.
we just saw TZS with a come from behind victory on Turf War. dabble a little bit more on the first 2.5 minutes and why that is so critically important for setting things up for the closing stretch.
Well, think about the way that we've looked at each team, right? Each team has kind of had a standout or star offensively minded player that comes up in those.
I'll tell you what, it was one of my favorite moments at Riptide this year. Genuinely, from like a personal perspective, not from a event perspective, was chatting with some of the higher level people, especially the ones when we were talking about like when the ones that had to like borrow my stuff. Is I was like, hey, just don't change, my normal brush gear, and they would be like, swim speed ninja squid. I'm like, yep, don't fuck with those. Like, like it was just that to me meant a lot, and it happened in other places too, where it just would come up in conversation related to gear, and I think that just meant it wasn't just Gray, by the way. I don't think Gray was actually the one. Because Gray was not the only one that used my Switch. We had 4 people that used my Switch over the weekend. But in a lot of ways, knowing that it's just one of those cool things where you just to be known about. It's like, hey, I have this weird gear set, but I'm gonna keep doing me. I'll make it work, and it just means a lot to be at least recognized for that from these folks and from people at Reptile. It just means a whole bunch to me as an individual. I'm not necessarily looking for recognition. I'm just gonna do stuff my way, and if it happens, it's just that happening is just super cool to me. That everyone knows the gear set. They may not know the gear pieces. The gear pieces have been the same since S1, but they know the gear
plays. Even in
abilities,
Turf
which
War,
is awesome.
where you don't have a dedicated objective that you see on the map. Again, the map is the entire objective. It's still so important to shut them down, to not let them get hot, and to take important space that would prevent you later from getting out. Again, that spawn area, if you go to a map where it's difficult to get out of spawn, if you let that player get into position, it's not going to matter really if it's 45 seconds in, if it's a minute and a half in. They're going to wreak havoc on you and give you such little time to adapt and use whatever specials you've brought. No matter how many inking specials that you have, it's going to be such a time crunch whenever you get back to the middle of the map that you are going to be frazzled, essentially. So shutting down those offensively minded players while still looking out for the mid to long range.
Seeing that is also
gonna
really
be
cool,
key,
as someone
regardless of
who
what you're
literally
playing,
bought the
especially
IPL
on
lines.
these Turf War matches.
What does a coordinated push look like in Turf?
That came out of my own pocket. That I never built IPL for that.
War? Is it the same thing in Turf War as it is in the other ones? I mean, are you going to be a little bit more spread out because the objective isn't some singular thing in the middle? It's just covering as much turf as you possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, you're always coordinated, at least in theory, right? You understand that we all have to work together when an opponent runs forward and tries to attack us here. We've got to get some damage on them before they get right next to us there so we can clean them up at a certain... They don't really switch up their comp for...
Okay,
it is kind of easy to move back if you have that turf advantage. So being able to kind of be cognizant of that is really important.
All right, Zach, Turf War. You got to bring one weapon in. What are you looking to bring?
Oh, I mean, I think people would know it's going to be the Tri-Slosher at this point. I feel more. So I think the Tri-Navo is going to be my bread and butter here. I'll bring the Tacticooler in. There's not one with a triple ink strike, unfortunately, or maybe I'd be bringing that, but not as keen on the Aerosprays as Milana is, for example.
And how about you, Nine?
Reflux. It is TZS that has picked this. Tier weapon, bring that.
So this is why I wanted to catch was the beginning of this.
I do want to point out that it is TZS that has picked this. And I find that very interesting given, again, that they don't really switch up their comp for anything, but they really changed nothing when they played Turf War last time, and I believe that time it was brought to them on the counter pick. So
no, we picked it, so you did flip that.
They have chosen Turf War to start this out. They're probably not going to change their composition up at all. I think to your point, Jordan, they said, hey, last time we played against this team, these other modes, that's a wash. Get them out. They'll take us to it eventually. Let's take them somewhere where they probably feel very, very uncomfortable.
And right now it's going to be Turf War on Urchin Underpass. And so looking at this stage here, sure, Nine, you just talked. You had the biggest expression and reaction.
I'm just curious. I'm going to look through the stuff beforehand this time. I'm going to do the opposite of what I did last time. would just look at the things afterward. I'm gonna look at it this time beforehand. I'm just kind of curious. We're gonna look over these individually as well. I might not do the. I was gonna review the hour and a half of regular play, but I just don't have the time for that. I've already yapped for 2 hours, and I still have 2 more fucking sets to go through. Oh god, we're gonna be here until like 4 in the morning. This one was one I wasn't thrilled with, but I definitely am okay with the way this one went. It was my first time playing against this team, which I know gave some trouble. I wish I would have realized the Stamper was as big of a problem as early as, eventually I kind of realized that the Stamper kind of causes some trouble. Kind of listening to it, but I mean, the Stamper did some damage, but nothing crazy in the first 2 games. This was probably my weakest game. But again, a lot of Rainmaker, just dumb shit. I think my Rainmaker stats are always just kind of worse, so I would like them to be a little bit better than they are. I'm okay if they're a dip because I'm moving objective. I like this game. Yeah, fine. The sword didn't do very much in both of those. This one, they did a little bit more. This was a quick knockout, a relatively quick knockout. We got kind of cooked. And in this game, I died a lot, but it was just I mean, my deaths were trades and taken advantage of a lot by the team, which I'm okay with. I would like to play a little bit. I'm definitely going to look at it and be like, individually, I would love to have played a little bit better. This game, we got absolutely cooked on that game. I personally got cooked on that game, but in general, we got cooked on that one. Bounced back a lot. I'm surprised I bounced back on TC Urchin. I kind of cooked a little bit on Urchin this weekend. And then we just got beat here on Rainmaker, which is surprising because Humpback's usually one of my better ones. That was probably the game I was most disappointed in myself. I felt like I could have done a little bit better in terms of like, this map is what I want. This is Rainmaker. But shrug emoji. We'll come back to it. Let's switch over to the not the other HDMI, but let's slap over to the I don't know about for a Humpback though, babe. You know what? While we can still see this, like, I think for a Humpback is just one of those ones that I think has to be. I think that's one of the different ones. I think for this it works out well. Okay, yeah, okay, so I'm getting ahead of you. Okay, good enough. And I will shut my mouth because
Let's go again to you.
I'm a little emotional here. Turf War on Urchin Underpass for a lot of us was the very first stage and mode combination we ever played Splatoon on in 2015. How can you?
I mean, I think the way that I'm gonna go back and watch that one a little bit. I don't know per se. I don't think that changes the game. I think the way that Clamblitz CB works, it's so low head oriented that I think that one is one that I think Explo is still fine. I think every other mode for Crab Legs, I think you're right. I think Clamblitz is maybe, yeah, because including Rainmaker, just because the grates are important. For Clamblitz, the grates matter so little on this map. They matter, but a lot of times they just the way that everybody played it just didn't make sense to and I think that's something that we should do more than less you have to deal with. I think that's more of the problem. That is where I think other people should handle that and not you. I think I would rather have you continue to play low and use your high ground advantage instead of playing for a thing that a lot of teams won't do. They do that well. I think they do. I do agree with you. And so maybe against that team in particular, but a lot of teams don't play high a lot. High is very defendable on that game, on that mode. So I would still hard disagree with you in general for Crablet Clamblitz.
Obviously, it does bring back a lot of nostalgia as well, too. And Milana, when you get to Urchin Underpass, we have to keep in mind this particular stage on Turf Wars or any
we're gonna speed through
loadouts
this
that they're going to have, and this whole weapon pool that Zach pointed out. it could be pretty beneficial in turf war.
It
Let's
can.
see.
It could be very interesting to see. The teams, I believe, are already loading in, and sure enough, there they are. Great work. Holy cow, there's a couple things. There are 2 stringers there on the side of Lanai K. Okay, I mean, hey, if you're going to go ahead and throw them a curveball, let's bring this out as well. Yes, we do have them.
Yeah, I kind of follow you guys quickly here because I see that they're pushing, and I think it's the right call. Because I was going to kind of play hill a little bit more, and I probably should have played a little bit more in our spawn a little bit. That's one that I over pursued early, but I think it works out. I think it ended up being a better call because they played super aggressive here early on. They had all 4 meet us in mid.
Brings back a lot of memories, and now we see Mare with that ink brushes. That could be the difference here for
there.
TZS against Lanai K. So far, it's 4-4 on the stage. Both teams kind
That
of
one I'm okay with the neutral on.
Milana, it's also about 50-50, pretty even out the gate.
And you know what? They're both of these teams are playing.
I should have gotten 2
Yeah,
here.
the slider coming out.
But I like that they waste the. I'm okay that they wasted that at least. So at least we take a. I took a trade personally, 2 for 1 because Pepe also went down. And then they waste the special, so that was at least nice. It's like a little bonus here.
Making sure that they're able to maintain positioning. They take down 1 member of TZS.
Where am I at?
Go down as well too, as Van Oct is
I am
still
sharking the
working up there
hill.
in the hallway.
Yeah, 'cause it's hard for me to fight this. I do eventually come help Pork, because Pork is like, can I get some help here? And I realize it with the whales that he just needs a hand. So I just look at me, I just come shark there. Look at this. They rush him, and then just shark it. I almost screwed that up too. They didn't know where I was. They didn't know I was there. Yeah, of course, always we can test it. But like I said, I still think what I think. We'll go with that. And you still think what you think. I love the jump through the other stuff.
About a minute
I
left here. We're
try to
getting
help
that
Pepe here.
30-second mark
I'm just a little
here.
bit too slow. And that carbon. I should have went up the wall, I think.
TZS from the overhead view. Namika trying to get back and just create a little
take
bit
a
of support
trade.
here for Lanai K. That's on the ropes.
This
here.
carbon, I was just worried because it's the first time and you guys had lost to him. I was worried with the carbon, and you guys definitely expressed a lot about the carbon.
With that back, everyone else is going to have to back up the super chumps.
At least I got a lot when I was listening to discussion. What I felt like the carbon kept coming up a lot, so I was definitely worried the carbon was going to shred us. And the carbon did have moments. I think we were able to handle it a lot in this set pretty well. But and looking back, I would say the Stamper was still the bigger problem. The Stamper is definitely the core of this team.
4-3 advantage TZS and Milana. This is where they have to make sure they take mid and just stay alive and not have to go back to spawn as we see
Pepe just doing that is just huge.
20 seconds remaining.
You know, you say that we have to stay in the middle, but Pepe doing what is, you know, the high risk, high reward thing, staying in the enemy base and painting, because that is
I knew that carbon was behind me. I'm like, shit, I can take a kill up front, so I did.
Is it going to be a late push from Lanai K? Looks to be TZS.
I don't remember who it was. It wasn't the carbon. It was, I think it was a Stamper.
Staying in the enemy base.
Yeah, I can take a kill on the Stamper, so I took it over the carbon. I'm sorry, Vapor, you were dying there. I went, you know, it's a trade. Carbons can't paint that hard. We're okay.
Looks to be TZS in main control, and TZS most likely going to get the victory in this one. They did a wonderful job there.
I can say that the Carbon got a couple big picks. I won't disagree. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the sword activated, everything revolved around the sword.
Picking up the first win, their first one of the day against Lanai K after 4 games.
Yeah, you take a look at just mid, and it's looking like TZS all the way. I did not really expect a 5% differential there, but lots of specials going on. Even the Ink Storm, which is something that you don't really get to see too often because it's not a very flashy special. It's not always a very impactful special, but it is consistent, and it is dedicated to what you're doing in this mode. It just provides
everything
nice
revolved around that sword in the first set, especially. This set is definitely a little bit less so, but that first set, holy shit, everything was around that sword on that team. And I understand some people that end up talking about this team later on and talking about the sword, the Stamper being the GOAT. Like, I understand why now, because everything in this team revolved around that Stamper.
You talked about one of the differences being that ink brush. Did we see it evident in there as far as maybe the adjustment that we were going to see from TZS?
Well, especially on a stage that big as Zach laid out, you want to try to create advantages in little pockets, right? And if you have an ink brush who can quickly get from one fight to the other with different teammates in different areas of the stage.
Yes,
it changes
thank you.
a lot. And again, you said earlier, Milana, and you put it so well, not just zipping to an objective, but zipping past an objective. If you can get people to turn around at a critical moment in a game, if you can take their eyes away from them, that's the job done right there. Someone else jumps across, takes you out. All the while you're saying, ink brush is still up, ink brush is still up, where's the ink brush, where's the ink brush? And it changes a lot. I really think that was the dynamic they needed. Again, maybe we don't know exactly why DRF was subbed out for it, but you cannot argue with the results that bringing that ink brush in has had for this team.
Up next, we have got Rainmaker on Crab Leg Capital, and just thoughts on what we're going to see with Crab Leg Capital. It's a stage we have yet to see here today.
So this is a really interesting pick because Rainmaker on Crab Leg tends to be pretty precarious no matter how you take the Rainmaker. So the pedestal obviously can be seen one on the left and the one on the right, but the one on the right is on an entirely uninkable graded surface, and then the one on the left, if your point choice.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You've got checkpoints that are really different.
Ground for some weapons. If thankfully there are walls you can.
Our losers finals.
All right, let's do this. I think Rainmaker's still the right call, and I'm glad we forced them to play Rainmaker Crab. They picked Crab Legs, and I think if we're gonna go Crab Legs, I think Rainmaker's the best map for us. I think we've talked about enough. We kind of have our gist on how we want to play this. It's still not great for us by any means, but I think we know what we want to do.
Pro Winter, one of the newest weapons in the game.
So I think Clamblitz and Rainmaker. I would say Rainmaker's better than Clamblitz. If we could magically know the stage beforehand, if it was the other way around, which I think it used to be, like, I would totally be like, yes. Or if we know a team's going to pick Crab Legs, we try to force them to do it on Rainmaker or Clams.
Can't swim away because they're on a grate. The blasters at range can really make the life difficult for everybody, and it's got tactical to boot.
An early splat in favor of TZS. It's 3-4 on the stage. Now it's back to 4-4. Special was ready to go for Lanai.
A little bit of a rough start. I remember the rough start here. I didn't play that right early. I take a kill here.
And we talked about it. The brush
take a nice double.
For cracking 2 splats
I
in
think
a row there, Milana.
2 slats in a row indeed. This is going to give TZS a great
you took this, and I think look at me. I just pre-firing because I knew somebody could be up there, and I was right. The carbon was there, just wasn't close enough. I remember I said I'll take it. I'll just go.
Right below the spawn point, and Kraken
with the
holding on the big bubbler, clutching out, allowing Kraken to just get a couple more points before going down.
And that was huge, Zach. You saw
going
the
rapid.
and the big bubbler come out, buying just enough time to push the lead.
This is great defense too.
The initial opening salvo puts a lot of pressure on Lanai.
I mean, that's a huge point, and we were able to add to that a few times. Honestly, I always forget that these matches are streamed. I'll be honest. Once the match starts, I completely forget we're on stream. Which is absolutely
inherently. Instead, they're just going straight for that
a good thing that I love that about myself. I'll take that bomb kill. I think it was my bomb. I don't know if it was. That might have been Pork's. I get one with the bomb kill over there eventually later. That might not have been that one though. I like that this call we went up here to switch it up. We have bubble and just okay. We can do this. Let's go. I maybe could have been a little bit more passive here, but we need to get out right here. I think we have to contemplate getting out. Oh, I hit mute. At least once we go down one down, but I guess in the moment that's really difficult. I'm watching this on the map. I think if you can go back, I'm like looking at it. I'm just watching you all die here. Because as soon as you're in this corner, it's an L. I think if bubble still existed right here, go for it. But I think here you probably lose this. No matter what. They just swarm me from so many different corners.
Wipeout, but they gave up even more points as if 20 wasn't daunting enough. Now we'll take it all the way to 17. And
honestly, I felt like we could have more things. That's a perfect bomb. That one I got. That was me.
Just right on top. But again, when you have to worry about bombs, it can slow you up, and you're looking forward at specials. Where's the opponent who's holding the range?
Chat replay? I'm just curious. Chat replay? Damn, not available. I'm just curious what was being said, but I have to go watch the Twitch for that, I guess.
Past you, takes you out, and all of that good you did in the last 30 seconds, gone and erased.
Venox are going to have to retreat. The suction bomb going to push them back.
I mean, you can save the chat replay. Nintendo just doesn't allow it.
A little bit more pressure. Booyah bomb ready to go for Venox, just trying to climb up to the top here of this grate to get a view. nearly gets taken out by that
I should have gotten that one.
as Kraken
But I'm okay with
backs up
this.
just a
I'm like,
little
oh,
bit.
drinks, cool, I'll take that. You see me? Oh yeah, you see, you get to see the brain cell click that I had to go. I should grab a drink because I'm on that. The moment you say go, I'm just like go, 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 go. I remember we hear Carbon behind again. I just hold forward and just say screw it. Get 2 more points.
Did not mean to fall there, and this might be the end.
This is a good
of
pop though.
push-
You should
Oh,
not have gotten it.
takes out 3
That's a
members of
second
Pepe.
pop that
Pepe
like could have been
was
really.
not able to get the
I don't know.
jump
How,
to score.
I want to see this
Takes
again.
out 3
They hit
members of
Pepe
Pepe.
out. Okay, because Pepe is slightly over here. I thought the pen was more over here. I'm like, how do they shoot them through that?
Pepe with
We have replays for the event, and actually, I'm gonna watch the replays afterward. But I'm watching Nintendo's POV first.
But a score to 4 is
And it's only been 2.5 hours of watching Nintendo's replay first. And we still have a whole nother set after this one.
And
this one goes to game 5.
as well too. And
They
now
jump
you
off here, and
see
I was a little bit
about
surprised at
30
that.
left
But I
here,
kind of
Zach
understand it.
Lanakea. Listen,
I mean, with the lead we have, I wouldn't jump off there. I'd just shoot as a main weapon. Yeah, they allow us to have replays, and I still have the replays. I just haven't.
they can try to turn this
I'm just curious of some of the commentary stuff that they're seeing. I want to
Call it
see
effectively a knockout that they
what
give
the
it.
stream was seeing. I want to see. It's a different point of view than watching a replay, even if you kind of leave it on the auto cam. Which this is not auto cam, by the way. They have a person
TZS
doing
is
it.
doing more than just resting on their laurels. They're taking the Rainmaker
I like to just
as
see a
often
little
as
bit of
they
that
can to
difference,
disrupt and minimize the number of times that Lanai can
alongside
destroy
of
the
normal
if they
bot
get
reviews.
into
Like
a
all of
tight
that has
situation. And not
benefits.
just that, no
And
matter
actually,
what,
all of them we had to
really
force
bothered.
they made us give them the replay codes, so we have the replay codes. Alongside of that, Nintendo has every single replay code.
And outranged here on that
And
roller, it's been Who's gonna
I don't know
have
if the
to
channels
find
are visible
use
now.
the
I have to go back and look,
range that they do have.
but they
Give them
were
a
historically
single
visible
point
to me.
get
I could
away
have seen
from
every single
Kraken
set's
there. They
replay
are
code.
all over the map, and TZS
And maybe an
continues
extent,
to bother
maybe it would have been worth doing. I'd take a double there. I should not have gotten. I should not have gotten a double there. That was probably one of my better plays this entire game, and then I take a dumb death that I just shouldn't have taken.
I did more than point it out, Jordan. I was so
Oh no, the
wrong on
crab
the
killed me. That's right. I died to a crab.
When it gets so close, you just know how the rest of that engagement is going to go, zipping and moving between all of these fights. Now, I do need to give
Yes,
praise here to
I think it was Czar. Like I said, I think Czar is their person for this. I might be wrong. And Czar is done really well. And oh, they said it was Czar on stream. Awesome. Yeah, Czar's cool as fuck. You could take in a handful of people, but Czar has historically done it for them. And so like he knows his shit very well. I really and they take it like of anybody that I've ever worked with spec cam, take it extremely seriously because they know because of doing this and such, I believe. And like I have mad respect for them. Like there was a small mistake made and they were like so hard on themselves for it at Ripped. I'm like, please, buddy, you make this fucking shit awesome. Like, don't sweat it, man. Like, don't like a great guy. Definitely a person to go have a beer with kind of thing. Obviously, I don't drink, but that kind of person, right? Like, oh, these dualies should have. Oh, this dualie. Oh, I did not know this happened behind me because I'm in the mid. I remember taking damage there. I was like, what the fuck hit me? Huh. And then when you guys are calling the crab behind, I was like, oh, yeah. I'm thinking it's over by the pedestal, not literally on our thing. I didn't realize it was all the way up there in the moment until, like, I turned around to go help you guys. I'm like, that Julie should have had a double or a triple. 100%. That was a we got lucky. I don't think we lose the game over it, but it could have snowballed bad. Like that was bad on our part. That's a good play on them, worst play on us kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like we should have played that significantly better. They played it well, and if they play that even a little bit better, we get absolutely cooked there. Like I should have died there. Like, let's look at this. How many of us should have died here? They move with this boot out very well. Vapor should die here. Let's just say Vapor should have died there. Maybe Pork lives because he gets his bubble off. But you could argue Pork might have had a shot to realize that. I should have died right here because The fucking Rainmaker pedestal saves my ass. That should have been 2 to 3 of us down in 10 seconds remaining, which they had a checkpoint to go through, and they almost had a knockout. So the statistical chance that they win is really freaking low. But I'm like, oh my god, looking back at this, that could have been really bad.
Taking a 2-0 lead in losers finals, and we mentioned it, just that second push to get to 4, and it felt like the pressure was on Lanai Kea the entire time.
I think they were maybe a little bit unaware of that Rainmaker and how close it was to being popped, because that, you know, we don't really talk about it too much, but that is a deadly weapon. Just being able to pop the Rainmaker shield and using that to your advantage, getting picks from that, picking it up, and just using the ink that is created by that pop to kind of move it forward. I think that's just such a smart play, and that helped get it to 4 and really effectively sealed the deal.
And Zach, it's interesting.
I'm glad it was fun to watch. That's what I hope. I think that is an important aspect that sometimes we forget about in the community too, is spectator POV. I know we've talked about a lot at TZS and side conversation, so Vapor's probably going to be like, yeah, Kraken, I agree. Calling you out now, Vapor. But, yo, no, you should have been scared.
You can also do the strategy of, if you're scrambling, whoever's near it, just grab the darn thing. It's all you need
to that dually, like, they probably feel bad about themselves, but, like, it was a great play. Said it publicly many times. See, I told you.
Right before it's about to be popped.
So,
not
like,
only then does the team that would need to get to overtime have to pop the Rainmaker
I'm glad
shield,
people enjoyed the set.
all this enemy ink
No matter result, win or loss, obviously I want to win. I'm going to, as a competitor, fight to win. But I'm glad people enjoyed it.
That they're using that whole time.
And I'm glad we were able to give even comp people some show, give people to talk about Turf War existing more, which was really cool. I mean, I got pinged during the tournament. I didn't see it until literally like the next morning because I didn't pay attention.
TZS, and I'm not really sure. I think, you know,
I got a ping on me literally. Why are we picking Turf War in fucking grand finals of this? I'm like,
previously.
Good.
That time they went with Rainmaker, felt like they were stronger there, but
so like even if it was even if it wasn't necessarily a show they enjoyed or anything, because obviously they didn't say that, but it was like they made them think at least for a minute.
Vapor had that swap, so now
it made them think about why at least like
on the more neutral mode.
They're picking Turf War. Like if that's as far as the thought went, fine. But it made them at least have a thought up there, right? That's cool too. I love seeing people have to have thoughts because of whatever we're doing.
You have to take this one game at a time, Milana. You're down 2-0. You can't look at the fact that we have to go. Zach, they were.
Who do we counterpick here? We pick Flamblitz. I'm surprised we went Rainmaker first. I don't remember why we chose Rainmaker over Clamblitz.
All the pressure. You don't often get the chance to have this sort of
glad
revenge, and boy, would it be sweet.
Went,
back to the old reliable here.
I really
for
do.
TZS.
I think it's the
on the
play
other side, we've got
in a lot
another
of ways. I think it's just so fundamentally important.
It's been Splatana Stamper most of the day for Venox, but now instead bringing out that mid decapitator. We've seen some.
Yeah, I'm just surprised we didn't go Clamblitz because we.
I'm wondering if it's just
something we talked about. Just something I'm thinking about in hindsight, and I just don't remember at the time without listening back to the VOD. I'm always gonna say yes to Rainmaker over Clamblitz because I love Rainmaker. I'm a Rainmaker enjoyer, and you know me. I love my fucking Rainmaker. I need to get this clean. That's a big miss there. That one I remember in the moment knowing that was a big miss. If I get that clean, we score.
But you know what? They still have to.
But because I don't get that clean, you guys now have numbers disadvantage here in this fight. You guys get flanked, I think. Which, I mean, you guys just didn't see this. This guy comes right behind you guys. I think eventually I clear him, though. This time or it's next time he bubbles? Oh, it's this time. I clear it out here. I clear out the person you. Oh, you clear out this one. I clear out the other one. That's right.
It looked like TZS was going to go right towards the basket, able to push them out, and now finally a power clam. And right as I say that, of course, TZS opens up the basket.
Yeah, Smart going to get that in, and they're really going to rely.
I don't feel bad about anybody losing for playing within the rules. It wasn't even like a rule book or something. Like that's where I can kind of feel bad about winning a set about rule booking, but I think losing a set on top 8 on turf, like if you left turf, that means you left turf knowing that you're going to potentially have a game 5. Because the way that the format is set up, it's BO5s, So whatever you have is always last. That's right. That's what we did, Vapor. Thank you. That's right. I remember we said we wanted to save clams a little bit. But still, like, if there's game 5 and you didn't pick turf, that's kind of on you. Like, you have to accept that as a potential fate and something that you should try to maybe even push to have it earlier in the set if you're worried about it, or have it maybe instead of having game 4 or game instead of having, because the way the modes are picked, right? You have to play every single mode. You cannot pick modes more than once. So you can only pick zones in one game. You can only pick tower. You can only pick Rainmaker once. You can only pick Clan Blast once. You can only pick Turf War once. So Turf War, if let's just say you are very evenly matched with a team and have to assume that you might go towards game 5 or at least go to game 4. You have to remember Turf War is almost has to be played in a best of 5 or a game 5 situation. And it's going to be the only mode left if you don't pick it after game 4. So it's something a lot of teams are going to have to start contemplating where they want that turf war, because in close sets, like, it has to be played eventually, potentially in a fifth game. This is a good push from them. Good bubble. I know we play this top, and that suck bomb. I almost ran right back into it. I didn't even see it. Take a nice pick up there. I'm really happy with that. We play this top really well this time. It's the next time they play it really well on the top. That's right, next time. We handled this one really well. I'm really happy with the defense on this one. As much as they almost match our score, I'm happy with that defense. We played it the right way, and it's something we've struggled historically on. And we still lose this game, and I think we struggle a little bit later in a little bit more of a panic situation. But I think that's just so critical that we are getting better at that.
And now you see Krakenmare. They get it open again, does TZS, and they're able to go right through the penalty. This is a huge opportunity here, Milana.
This is a huge opportunity, and Smork with that big bubbler, unfortunately, big bubbler does go down.
I feel like I died a little bit on pushes, a little bit more than I would have liked here, too.
But really playing it safely,
which sucks. Sucks a little bit on my end.
Regrouping,
I patience the crap out of this. I wish it wasn't a trade. That should have been a clear kill. When we watch that from my POV, you're gonna go, man, you should have had that. Man, trade's not the worst thing against the sword, which had caused some problems for our team looking back at it historically. I'm glad I'm so screwed. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I remember calling that out. Yeah, this is where we get wiped, and look at, you see how they're all up there on the top right? We talked about it earlier, just so critical.
Where they need 3 more to take the lead. Now 2. Blob assisting yet again on that famous inkjet. Can they find 2 more?
That inkjet just finds you. I just don't get that other than a trade, man. We just don't time that together, right? And you going down, Vapor, really just unfortunately makes it worse.
They put them in, and we are now getting set for a game 4 as Laniakea picks up their first victory here in losers final.
Well, if you have control you don't have control after a loss. But I guess it's good to screwing your opponent. I guess you mean from an opponent's POV. I guess that would be true.
That is what we haven't seen the last couple of games as well, too. Laniakea really putting their...
It's part of the mind games that you need to play during these events. You have to know the mind games and where you can play them. I think that's something that we've discussed at TZS. We actually talked about it extensively before we played in this event. Looking over some of the rule set, and that's something we tweeted out, actually, even. Like, talking about... There are places in the rule set you can play games and lay traps if you want to. Turf War is probably the most prevalent of those, but there are more. There are more we can take that. I think, for the most part, I would agree. Definitely, I have some issues. I know I brought them up right away, too. Especially on the map choices, which you mentioned mode. I could argue maybe we can do something a little bit slightly different with the modes. I think it was more of an on paper issue. I think in practice if we play it as we did here, for the most part, I think we're okay. I think that's something I think when we discuss tomorrow that I'm going to bring up is like, okay, we had this list going into the event. What tweaks do we want to make? And some of the tweaks we've already made that are just not on paper yet. Which is good. I mean, that's a smart thing you should be doing. You know, people talk about like things like halftime adjustments in like football. No, you should be making adjustments the entire game. And it's the same thing here with Splatoon. You don't want to just make adjustments between events or end breaks or anything like that. You need to be making adjustments between games, even mid-game. You know, there's times they're called, hey, you're taking Rainmaker now, or you doing this. I'm taking Tower. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make those adjustments. People just like hard stick to a game plan. You just can't. As much as I'm a big lover for game plans, they are basis, not the rule. And I'm glad we made some adjustments. We just got to change our paper stuff.
And taking control.
Match that.
On variations of the Splatana Stamper the entire time. All right, let's go Mint Decav. Yes, it has the right special for this mode, but maybe our opponents just aren't ready to fight a Decav here. You bunch up, and that comp that they run on TZS really thrives on misdirection and surviving in these awkward situations. There's no surviving when that thing is charged up and next to you. It opens up, it continues the fight, and what a great counter pick, not only from the mode, but also to have that as another weapon you could bring. These teams keep going back and forth.
It's great, Milana, because TZS made the adjustment.
We weren't ready for Decav. I mean, the Decav didn't do a crazy amount in that game. If I go back to the things on that, I think that game was their worst game actually on it. Yeah, they went 8-8. 8-8, 850p, 3 bubbles. Really, the Decav did better work this coming game. The Decav had its moments, but honestly, we handled it in that last game pretty well without thinking about it.
Now you see Lanaya make the adjustment with the Mint
this
Decav.
next
Now
game
it's
is where they
back
get
on
us a little bit.
TZS to make another adjustment here.
You know, I think they're really going to have to handle that Mint Decavitator because
it's a good counter pick though, for sure.
Long, and if it touches
It
you,
just
it's
doesn't
over,
see the
you
results
know?
that they're trying to
So
make
they
out
have
to be
just
until the
make
next
sure
game.
that TZS
A little bit
is
better in the
gonna
next
have to
game.
kind of deal with it somehow. They, you know, have to.
What we've
Two things, anything. Using it's like we just all.
I'm gonna be real, folks, for those that
Maybe
watch
I am
this.
hungry. How about that? So this is, I think, a question of if they believe that Kraken Mare will make the difference here. Because
I was just about to
yes,
keep
there
switching.
were some good moments the last time they went on Imari Ruin Splat Zones, but they didn't get the dub, and that's all that matters. It's interesting.
But
An
like,
opportunity.
we didn't make a lot of adjustments actually in this set, which is something I
TZS
think we
to
could.
move on. They are looking for a win.
We got a
in
little bit,
stage
I don't want to say
and mode that
cocky
they lost
after
last
being
time
up
they made a
2-0,
counter pick.
but I think we
And
just kind of
Zach,
let's
as you
stick to
look
our
at
guns.
the
I think we should have maybe
loadouts,
reassessed
what
things a
stands out
little
to
bit
you?
more after that game loss. When we were just like, okay, let's just make a very small thing, keep moving on. I love the little circles I do.
Sticking, obviously, what's
They make me
been
happy.
working, and that is the Mint Decav. And on the opposite
That Mint
side of
Decav's
things for
great
TZS,
bomb kill.
still
That's
with the
so
custom
huge.
X-Flow and the Splash
And it's just
Pad
so
is gonna
disappointing.
do
We just didn't get
wonders
anything
for
out of
beating
it
these smaller
other
zones
than
and not
the one
having to
pick in
go
zones.
too far near
We
the
got
enemy base.
nothing else. I get killed early.
Hold ground down. TZS with the
Am I watching the whole
early
VOD? I'm not gonna watch the
lead.
whole
They're
VOD. I'm
working
watching
on
just the
that.
TZS
Lanaya
stuff.
Able to get in and take
So like I
control of
didn't
the
watch
zone and
the
already
first couple
turning
or
the
first
tide of this
first
game
round and the
tonight.
third round.
Great work
But
there.
TZS is
They
on
took
everything
that
else.
Initial shot, but they made sure that they had enough resources that they could get into this scenario. Namaka, you're going to get taken down by just bombs.
Yeah,
if you're
buddy.
Not careful. Yeah. Kraken kind of saying, "Hey, buddy, okay, are you going to move? No, you're just going to let me run in."
Yeah,
Nice
like,
job.
man, this is
neutralizing
another
here,
one
and
where
that means that you've
I had
got
an
somebody
opportunity
attacking
there.
from both sides. Now, I will say Lanaya hasn't given up that central median.
That sucked. I didn't realize they jumped back in. Yeah, that one hurt. That was a good carbon play.
We saw Kraken going around, about to get that second zone. Namaka
I
able
should
to
have went for the other
spot
zone.
and
I hesitated a
control
little
the
bit in the
hands of
in the right zone when I should have went
Now
around
you've got Blob on
the
eject.
other
They're
way.
starting to make this push here, Milana,
I
backing
didn't want to
TZS
rush
up.
it back after. Yeah, that jet is
Like
doing
we
some work
said,
on you.
Mommy Ruin
I just didn't want to rush it back after the bow saw me, but I should have went there and then went back again. I wish I would doubled
kind of a hard
back.
map to come out of spawn with, and
I didn't.
Venom
If I had
is
known the
going to
carbon
make
was
it very
behind me,
difficult for them
I
to- the
100% would
tactical
have committed to
are
it
coming
quicker.
out, especially so.
Heck, I would have just
Even
held
if
forward
we
on it.
all
I
go
wouldn't.
down,
I
they'll
wouldn't.
go
Might not
right
even have
back
taken the
to the middle
break.
of the stage immediately.
punishing pressure coming out from Venoct and the rest of this Lanai team. With just 16 seconds remaining, Zach, they might have this on lockdown.
I no longer know the phrase cranking 90s. I only know cranking decavs, as Venoct is going to be able to get multiple.
Yeah, I mean,
180
just again, we're just
shots and
focusing the
that are
jump.
able to help set things out.
Get another
Lanai
kill.
holding
Oh,
it down,
latency
at least
there.
For the moment, they do lose 2, including
That's
their
so
on-stream
laggy.
player.
That was a lag
Can the
spike.
Mega make things happen? They will.
That was a
Maybe the
weird
splat
moment.
onto Smork that'll take them down to 1. These 2-zone maps always so difficult to finally close. Lanai
That one
Kea
hurt.
will
That I
finally
won't lie,
close.
this game hurt.
Got ourselves a game 5.
Being Umami, just kind of getting destroyed like that.
I wanna
Was
say,
one of our
like,
better
listen,
maps, I
if you
think.
did your
That one
homework
hurt.
and you felt this was your strongest Splat Zones map, this is where you do it. But like listen, the last time these two teams played, it didn't look great. It looked a lot like that. You know your opponent's probably going to be bringing a decav in. You know once the decav pushes in, that's it. Yes, you have an ink brush now, but it's not like you got more range because you picked your ink brush, which is wild to say given that the other option was a tri-slosher. I just, it's always difficult for me to accept going back to a stage and mode that you really did not perform well on. I wish I could say I was surprised at that result, but I wasn't.
A very befuddled 9 as we get set for Game 5 here. And now all of the
That's
pressure
fair
is
criticism.
back on TZS here, Milana. You're up 2-0, and now it's a Game 5. And you've got Lanai Kea looking very strong over the last 2 games.
I mean, it's a similar
if
style to what I
something
do,
isn't
Vapor, except I don't
working
jump
and you
out.
see that the Mint Decavitator is really wreaking havoc, you're going to need to do something to change. Whether it's in the way that you play.
Get out and make sure that it can't really get as
Crazy that TC came
Tower
down to Game
control.
5. I'm kind of surprised.
We're going back.
A classic. Our
Gosh.
favorite.
Your opponent has.
They've got to regroup, and when you look at tower control and Inkblot Arctic,
Happens, all the special.
Do you want to throw the big
What was the
bubble on their
TC
IQ?
game? Never mind. I don't think you played him in TC. I'm just
in
curious.
mode. If you
Come on,
is
let's go.
also always picked if it's not tower control. Due to affect with the defender
I might watch
That's
this
the
again
mistake.
later, but it's
Morality
getting
about
late,
it.
so I kind of want to run through this.
rating, then trying to rush and
for
You know,
instance,
how
I have
did you
not
know
used
that I
enough
was
of my
gonna
pen
be
tool.
I wasn't even
Pen
gonna be
tool.
like,
Pen tool.
Solo queue. Nah, I'm all
Random.
about the salmon run.
Come on. What's taking so long? What took so long here? I don't remember. Oh, I remember. They had a controller issue.
matchup, and let's go ahead and take a look at this loadout here, 9. And anything you notice?
well, Zach said it already, so the thunder has been stolen. But the thing I notice is that nothing has changed. These teams
Gonna
gonna run.
keep you informed on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have to keep you informed. But I will say I am happy to see that Venoct is riding the hot hand here with this decav. So often you have a weapon that you maybe think is your sub weapon, maybe your second.
Yeah,
best
so we
weapon,
did
but
two maps
sometimes if it's
that
winning and it's working,
one
don't
that
overthink
proved
it.
9
Keep
right,
playing.
one that proved 9 wrong.
We check in on Pepe, picks up one of the splats right there to give the advantage to TZS. They're on the tower approaching the first checkpoint, trying to chase down a couple more members of Lanai Kea. And already, Milana getting to the first checkpoint, putting that pressure on Lanai Kea.
And TZS is really, like you said, putting that pressure up. Smork putting that big bubbler down. Oh my God, Pepe really precariously, but able to get a double. This is going to get
Pepe,
TZS
Pepe,
to
Pepe,
past that
Pepe.
second checkpoint, and this
What are you
is going to be their push.
And what a turnaround here, Zach. A triple splat, and they get past that critical second checkpoint.
That was a good kill. That was a
28
really good
unbelievable.
splash
A near
down.
wipeout,
That was
Zach.
huge.
Yeah, Pepe being very much so the yin to Krakenmare's yang, getting around and getting some important picks. Blob trying to survive after coming down on that inkjet. They won't have the luxury. Taken down, that's 3 down for Lanai Kea, and an emphatic a game as I've seen caps this one off with the 5th.
So TZS, we thought that they were going to be down for a moment, but just like that, TZS able to close things out. And what an impressive victory here as they're down 2. They come back and get the 5th game. Zach, what stood out to you in this match?
Zach, your mic.
Zach, you sound so good. We
Oh
need
my
you to turn
gosh,
the mic
yeah,
up.
this kid right there is doing so
Thank you.
well.
You've got a great
Krakenmare
voice.
helping out and getting Venoct. That's 2 that they're getting down, and you see just how well they're able to get around these structures. It's another map that's so difficult to get around, and Vapor, kind of the designated Rainmaker carrier on that one. really buffed by this tactic cooler and able to sort of get
Bro,
around this side. You're
tactic cooler
covering
didn't really
the
help me
middle
here,
of the area,
guys.
and you're covering this
It
sort
did
of
not
wall
help me.
right
It makes me
here
a little
that
bit
is so
faster, but
commonly
it's not a
shown around,
lot.
including that wall.
It is
So the wall
faster. It is
also
an
factored
improvement.
into all of
But like,
that.
I'm not
And
doing
then you
anything in
look
the.
right
I
in
almost
front, it's
barely
such an
use
easy
tactic cooler there.
pedestal to get to. The harder
It's
part
not
is making
non-zero.
sure you
It's not
stay
a
on top of it.
non-factor,
Look
but
at how
it's
much
so
they
little.
even have set up right there. They have a
So I
ton of
disagree with
ink
that.
already present right next on the high ground.
Don't push the cooler
that
propaganda
pedestal.
on
So such a great
me.
job of setting
Don't
this one
push
up.
the
That
propaganda
allowed
on
them to
me.
get the early
Nah.
lead in this set.
Zach, great job. You had about 3 seconds to get up from the desk over to the monitor. You're figuring out the mic at times as well, too. I mean, look at it. He's got the pointer. He's got the mic. He's breaking things down. He's going to the screen. Zach's doing it all here, folks. And
Hey, we
now
won!
get set
Yeah,
for
they screwed that
grand
up.
finals.
They did it a couple
TZS
times.
versus
They actually
Duck
showed that we
Motif.
lost
Duck
1-3
They've had
at
a
one
chance
point.
to just chill for
on
a while
Battlefy.
here, 9, but they have been clearly the most dominant team.
We're on it, and here we go.
All right, we're skipping
Quickly
because
up
I need to
the-
go.
Grand finals, TZS versus the heavyweight.
I'm skipping.
favorite
I'm going
Duck
to-
Motif at his
it's
turf
one
form,
thing.
Museum Del Foncino. Zach,
I
give
was
us the
expecting
honors,
to be
longest
well
thoughts.
into
Well,
the personal
a
VOD
couple
review
of new
and expected that to
weapons
be the
in
longest
there.
portion.
Kara gonna be on the 10.0 splash
I
event. He's gonna have that
am-
Ink storm that we saw on Urchin Underpass.
I
Also,
there's no way I go
custom
through my personal
dually
VOD review in this. I'm
squelchers.
gonna call it
Not
after
only
this.
has the great rolls
think-
and
I think
maneuverability
we can
that
talk
a
about that
dually
on
has, but it has a
tomorrow or
decent bit
something.
of range. Joining with
I'm gonna
that for
definitely
Duck
do it.
Motif, the pencil
This is
to
just
provide
this
that
is too
tactic
long.
cooler. It's a pretty
We'll
set
probably be here another
combination.
hour
Keep in mind,
looking over these
TZS will have
games.
to reset the bracket if they want to claim the title here today. So they're going to have to take
I like this here,
6
you two on the
games
right.
from Duck Motif if they want to do that. Vapor with that triple splashdown, and so far,
I think that was
if you
probably
take
a waste
look,
of a splashdown when you
TZS
have you get a
chose
team
Turf
there.
War, by the way, here 9, they probably felt this was their best opportunity on a little bit more neutral ground.
And of course, the
I think
moment I
it's
came over to
interesting
help you
note
guys,
as well that
I-
we can kinda talk
I
about
die
the
and then
benefit that is
Fork
given
gets killed.
when you are the #1 seed, because even though they're coming from the loser's side, technically they are the higher seed. They got to choose Turf War here to start. It completely changes the dynamic of this set as it goes on.
We hear Vexen right here trying to apply a little bit of pressure. Smork near spawn, chasing down another member of Duck Motif. And if we take a look at the overhead view, it's Duck
Missed the
Motif
bomb there,
with a
which
slight
didn't matter.
advantage, it looks like. And so far, it's been pretty tame back and forth here, Milana.
Yeah, and like we said, like we mentioned time and time again, this
I
is
didn't see
just
that on the left
teams
side, I don't
feeling
think.
out each other, making sure that
I'm just looking back from my own
we
POV. I
haven't
didn't see
seen
that
this
on the
comp
left.
come out from Duck Motif before.
I didn't
and
see
we
that
just
little
wanna
bit of
make
poop.
sure that TZS is not overextending.
Yeah, you should jump
they
out
just
here,
wanna
Vapor.
make sure that they are
As soon as
able
you
to
landed, I was
hold
like,
on to
jump
what
out.
they have.
How are you
Under
not
a
dead?
minute 30
Why didn't they
left.
come get you?
See the zip caster come out for Red Shell. We've seen
Now they're
Red
gonna come
Shell
get you.
so diabolical with
There's
that
the
zip
jump
caster
out,
as well,
okay.
too. Puts it to great use here, Zach.
Well, and they're diverting a lot of eyes at the same time. The splat
We'll
there
take a
is just a
double.
bonus, and they're even able to trade that one out. Kraken Mare getting one to show that they are not also the brush to be trifled with as they move forward. 2 down there on the side of Duck Motif is TZS trying to take back mid. We're on that last minute, and Pepe getting closer and closer to the Trizuka. Can they use it on this spinner?
Trizuka locked and loaded as we see less than a minute left here. And for Duck Motif, doing a great job. Picks up a couple of splats right there. It's going to give him a huge advantage down the stretch here, 9.
Yeah, great work by Vexen there. The one thing to note about this stage, as we've said time and time again
So-
here, is because of the unique geometry, you don't always have a great
Don't have
way
much
get
to say
your
right now,
opponent's
just
side
kinda
of the map,
chilling.
which means that all these scuffles in the middle
I think
of
we
the
should
stage
fight
don't
more on
really
right here.
add
We
up
kinda
to a
just
whole lot
don't.
of advantage.
I think we
Maybe
had to
with this
fight that.
last fight here, forget the last 30 seconds. It
I'm
might
happy
be
with
the last
this.
10.
Kraken Mare picks up a splat, still hunting for a little bit more turf, doing a good job. Interestingly enough,
I think we
moving over
forced
to
this a
Yellow
little
Ink,
bit
and then
too
we
much,
take
man.
a
I
look
wish I had
at
gotten a
this
pick here.
firefight going on near
Yeah,
spawn.
Pepe
Pepe
overextends here. This
gets
is such a hard
elapsed upon, and now
overextension.
Duck Motif might be in a difficult
Oh, we
situation.
just forced
11
that. We
seconds
didn't
left.
need to
TZS
force. I
might
get
be making
2
a late
there.
push here, trying to pick up the first game.
Ah,
Super jump comes
we needed
in.
to let
It's
them come
gonna
to
be
us,
enough with 5
and we just
seconds
forced
left.
a fight.
Advantage for
We had
TZS
no
down
reason
the
to do
stretch,
it.
awfully close, but
Absolutely
Duck
no
Motif
reason to force a fight.
might
We
have
did.
inked enough turf down the home stretch. Let's see, it's up to Judd, who's going to take our first game of grand finals. Awfully close here, and the advantage goes to, it is TZS.
I mean, it worked.
The
We got the
underdogs,
win.
essentially, even though their favorites
But,
coming
like,
in.
man, that
Take
kills
a
me.
game from Duck Motif, just the second game that Duck Motif has dropped here today.
Well, again, as I noted, this is why TZS picked Turf War. And I want to note for y'all, the teams have the opportunity to not play Turf War if they want. TZS saw that and said, hey, this is our strongest mode. We won last time. Our opponents probably aren't practiced on it here. Let's try it, and maybe they'll even pick a weird stage where they can't do it. Because, well, I say weird because typically you get an advantage on a stage. You push forward. You take your opponent's side of the map, especially in Turf War, and then they have to spend 10 seconds getting back to the center. There, it's very difficult to get onto the opponent's side of the stage. That spinner that we talked about, which meant for TZS, as long as they didn't let all the walls fall down, they were going to at least have a say at the end. They trusted they'd get enough done in those last 10 seconds, and they did.
And that's all it takes for a little bit of confidence. We saw that losers
man.
TZS versus Lanai Ikea that picked up a couple of
I think
wins,
it was still the right choice to go Turf War. We got to clean that up. I talked about it then too. We just have to clean that stuff up with Turf War. We were iffy about it in the ladder. We were better about it in the bracket than the ladder. There's still a lot of cleanup to do.
You might see a bracket reset.
Clam Blitz is coming up next here, and now we kind of get to some of those more.
Feels like we're running the reverse gamut here. We're getting some of the least played modes, I think, out of the way. We have Turf War into Clam Blitz. The next one's probably Clam get Rainmaker, and then Tower Control and Splat Zones. And with a map like a stage like Crab Lake Capital, it is very much so going to be right butting up against each other.
Yeah, which I think was the right call for practice. I think we made the right call there. That was something we discussed in it. Vapor was let's play more turf and ladder to practice it because we struggled in it early. And I think it helped, but I still think we have a lot to talk about. If again midway through we have players saying we just don't feel comfortable in turf, which has just historically not been TZS, and that worries me.
There is not too.
There's a lot of great
Every time. Capital, we don't care what mode it is.
Which is the right call.
I mean,
good.
Vapor having that Rapid Blaster Pro Winter completely changes the dynamic of what this team is able to do. I will say, everything that we've said about Rainmaker and how difficult it is to push up, you can put that swim up. It is inkable, at least, a ramp into this one as well. There is one way to swim up. It is inkable, at least, a ramp, but everybody knows where you're going. That's the only way to get to the basket for most situations.
And to me, Milana, it feels like you need to be the aggressor this entire time. You can't.
I think they're right on that call. We'd be arrested because this is. We played too slow here.
Last time. Now we
I think we have to play faster on this map. That's before I even started.
Yeah,
we played too slow.
We
let them come to
I think
us.
was by far and away the strongest for
Which is
Duck
historically
Motif
us.
Here. Let's get Kara back over on that Frozen Pro. Let's bring Drift back in with that 52 gal. Let's go up and fight.
A little bit because we lose a fight here early.
I spoke too confidently and
I don't remember who
entirely
it
too
is,
soon.
but we lose a fight here
Vapor
early.
is not on the
bomb or
Rapid
something.
Pro Winter here. Instead, sticking with that Explosion. I mean, this is Vapor's strongest weapon. Certainly, kind of pioneered it as far as North America is concerned. But that thing can have a very difficult time fighting people if they get up on those
I
grids.
think you should be up here, but you shouldn't be up here alone. I think that's the problem we have.
They also have a 6-0
Is
advantage.
once you're up here alone, it's an out position.
Now they're scoring points already in the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, and look at Arcais' setup. They just have this tiny little box
We just
that they're
constantly
protecting most of their
died.
body on. There's of course no headshots in Splatoon, so you can basically have a huge advantage from protecting yourself. That's allowed
Stuck in
Duck
ink.
Motif to get all the way past
Wish I
60
pursued that.
into the 50s. They still have 3
Instead, I
minutes
come
left
back to
alive,
help here, and I
Vapor
just end up
helping to try
dying
and lock
anyways.
down Red Shell, but not without some casualties as Kraken Mayor gets taken out just close to the halfway point. They will finally let that barrier come back up. Great start, though, from Duck Motif.
So Duck Motif.
I mean, played great. I mean, we get cooked
early
here on the
on
top. It
here.
didn't matter if you were
Milana,
rapid. We just
when
cooked
you're
here
able
on
to
the top.
get past 60, that
And
puts
we
so
just
much
played
more
awfully.
pressure on
We
the
played
other
great
team when they make that
awfully
push.
in
Now
this.
you need 2 power clams just
And
to try
rapid
tie
does
the game.
help.
And they do, but unfortunately, Duck
But I
Motif
don't
making
think that makes the
another
difference
push,
here.
Getting rid of their penalty very quickly, and Red Shell, it is in a prime
I
location,
wish I would've
taking out the
traded there.
other brush
Well,
on the
sure,
other
sure
team. Carol with that Frozen Pro.
But you can see,
really
like,
is
X-Flow
just
can do
Duck
stuff where
Motif's
we are
game.
right now.
And you
And
saw
it's still
you
not
presented
do- Rapid
missiles
won't
to
change
try and
that.
Flank out with that brush, and now with just 15 seconds left, they've got 3 clams. They got to try and get there.
Like,
You've got Red Shell.
You're
with
right that it
Zip
could have helped
That's
a little
gonna
bit.
distract all
I'm
the
not going to
opposition,
disagree with
but
that
it's
at
a
all.
wipeout by
Like,
TZS.
but I think
However,
the big
they are staring
difference
a huge
is
deficit in the face here, Nye.
we have to play that a little bit better as a team. Other teams aren't going to play that high ground as hard as they did. They definitely play the high ground a lot in this. I won't lie. They utilize it very, very well.
A lot of time it's going to have have to be Pepe. Maybe with a Hail Mary shot.
I don't want to say necessarily uniquely so,
You see, it fired there.
because there's other teams that do it, but definitely
And that
better
probably
than
means that
most.
they are getting encroached upon, and sure enough,
There's very
that's
few
two
teams
down
I
right now.
would
Kara now
argue
moving forward.
would
Can't
do
get
the
away.
top as
Could've
well as they
gotten
did,
away
and we
throws
played
some
it
of those Tenta missiles forward.
awful.
Instead, it's going to be a stall.
I mean, no
Slow
matter what
down,
group of
and that's
weaponry we
all the
play,
room for Duck
because
Motif.
of our
It
weaponry,
certainly
we're
is.
just
And then
not
a
going to get
wipeout
that.
comes, and Duck Motif should be able to close this out here in just a moment. They are grabbing clams left and right. Power clam
I mean,
comes
look,
in. Now it's just a matter
that
of
was
going
not
back. They've got plenty
high
of
ground
supply.
L.
However,
That was the only high ground W, honestly, in a fight we had there. That was it. Which, you know, it was me, so, you know, I have to highlight myself. But, like, genuinely, like, the entire time, I think we lost every single fight, including myself, other than that fight on the top at the end. Like, that is the only fight up high, and that was them coming over the thing, and I knew them.
However,
Like,
that is
we
a
lost
very
every
quick
fight
match
up high,
of
no
Clam
matter
as
who it
well,
was,
and now we are tied at 1
along the
here,
4
Zach.
of us. So,
It was
like,
interesting. Duck Motif dropped turf war. Maybe we were questioning where the momentum was going to be. No questions right there.
Where
that's,
the actual pedestal, where the barrier
like, that is just straight up, we have to play that better, no matter what weaponry it is.
available.
We put Rapid in there, we still lose just as fast, probably.
Buff.
Status quo.
Return the 50.
We're here because you're going to have a tough time trying to get back on. Zach, any changes in our loadouts here?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we just have to get better at that. We have to find our way to do that. There's definitely some Clamblitz. Or there's definitely some Crab-like Clamblitz teams. There's a good chunk that will not play high as much as that. Most of them will not play high as much as that. But better teams will, so it's something we need to get better at to counter it.
Suitable special for a larger map. I think the width of this map actually is pretty sizable to where a splatter color screen is only going to cover about half of it. So you're still going to need to be mindful with the placement. Pepe,
That's a good
mindful
play,
with how
Pepe.
they're
Just didn't
charging
find
on that
anything on
wall.
it.
Not able to find anything yet, but just trying to
Good
get some
whales.
coverage for their team.
I wish I had Ambassador. I was a little slow on whales there. And that's because I didn't paint spawn. That's the difference in that one. I didn't paint spawn as well here.
Big Bubbler is available. You see Kraken going back in time to the black and white television. And no luck there as Red Shell able to.
I think I trade here too, which is really freaking disappointing. Oh no, I just have to retreat.
That's going to provide some nice aid here for Duck Motif as they try to seize back the tower 9.
Yeah, and I think the other piece of this kit
That's one that I would
have
loved to have won. And this is another fight I would have loved to have won. I didn't really get caught on stream. But that's one I should have at least gotten one out of, and I think maybe I got an assist, maybe I got a trade out of it, but it's one where I would have liked to have done better.
A ton in the Splat Zones version of this stage, and I imagine it's going to feel even stronger.
I think I would rather have more paint. I still am on, I'm on more paint, because you have to remember, with less paint, I become more useless. So yes, more fight support, but honestly, we break even on fight support probably then.
Right now, both
Because I'm now more useless. So like, that's kind of
It is, and
the
they
thought
are
there
dancing around
from
that
me,
tower,
is that map. Because the high ground is not paintable. So like, if you paint the low ground, so what if they're on the high ground? They're just dropping down into low paint situations. That's incredible that you did not trade that though.
TZS, however, Duck Motif able to hop back on. 2 members of TZS is down now, Zach, and this is their opportunity for Duck Motif to try and push through that first check.
On low ground, I think we go down negative. On high, we get plus. On low, we go negative, which I think is a break even.
Right back on Splat, and Kai, though, trying to see if they can locate any remaining members of TZS. Kara doing double duty there, also locating them, this time with the 10 missiles. That's 1 down for Vapor, and assist there for Kara.
I mean, the reason you didn't get it was purely because of the way the hill worked, but I won't deal with it. There's 2. I get a nice triple here. Dang. I realized I thought there was a jump here. And I wish I'd caught. I knew there was someone coming, but I just didn't know where they were coming from. Wish I went to the beacon. I thought they had jumped to the teammate.
Great job there, Nine, of putting on the cape and really saving TZS, because Duck Motif was in a position to really start to push that tower.
That was Kraken Mare versus the world for that point there. And look at all the good that was done, but look at where Duck Motif can come back. And again, I'm going to keep going back to those beacons. And what it is you see Red Shell just set another one down there.
Nine's super correct on this. Super correct. Those beacons kick your ass in this. I mean, honestly, honestly, without those beacons shredding as much as they did, genuinely, we cooked this game. I mean, we were cooking them. I went like 18-6 or 18-8 on this map or something like that. Like,
whenever you need miraculous plays,
we're getting kills.
even, that's usually a sign that the opponent's strategy and game plan is outpacing yours.
Vapor picks off Red Shell. Here comes the triple, and now it's an opportunity here for TZS. As you saw that splashdown create a little bit of an opportunity.
That's one of the times
now
going for the jump is the right call, just because
Kraken
I was no chance of me
mixing
killing.
things up. TZS might have a great opportunity here, Milana.
I think Kraken's positioning is key. That, you know, they're sending them up straight into the enemy base, hoping that they can get a little cheeky pick on Duck Motif as they drop into this pit right here. And Pepe holding onto zone.
I mean, to be fair, I was only enabled because of the paint that existed from other people.
Unfortunately, getting taken out by Red
So
Shell.
shout outs to my teammates who painted for me.
For the best.
And Red
Mwah.
Shell has to take the splat. Now it's 4-3 advantage on the stage here. And Zach now Vapor. This is a wonderful opportunity. TZS trying to
Like, I definitely want to just practice. I feel like one of the biggest gains I can do in this is to get better as an individual and stop making those mistakes that I mean, I've highlighted a good chunk of them here. I just wish I could, you know, if we were watching my POV, which I'm not. We're gonna be at 4 or 3:30 at 2 in the morning by the time we finish those. If I didn't start as late, I definitely would have been okay with going like 6 hours. But with it being so late, and I'm gonna start streaming again in 11 hours. One of the things I want to do is get better as an individual. And, you know, I try to play the game every evening. It's kind of my goal outside of other things. But I really want to play more in general. I think I don't want to have to ever wear a cape because I want to work as a team. But I want to always be able to do so if needed. Because they kind of say, put out, you know, Kraken's putting on the cape, and there's like, I don't want to. That's not my goal. My goal is to be a unit. But to be a part of the team, right? But that's something, still, you know what, if I can improve myself and make those hero plays when I need to, I want to be able to do so. And there's definitely some chances I've had, you see in the tape, where maybe if I just hit that shot, I just play that just a little bit faster, I do this a little bit. Small tweaks, there's some bigger tweaks as well. Just get a little bit better, I think would go a long way. So trying to add just more gaming into my appetite, I think will go a long way. Especially when my goal is to be in every fight I can be in with you guys. I think that helps as the glue. If I can be the best I can be, that helps you all be better. They kind of always talk about that. That's what I want to do as an individual in the short term. So I'm going to grind the shit out of, like I said, I'm putting X rank, but ideally I don't even play X rank. I just play a bunch of high level shit. But I doubt that is going to be really feasible. I want to see what I can do. Just want to get more reps. I just need more reps. There's definitely some plays I could have done better.
Lead, but time not on their side.
And
they're gonna have to make use of the great range
me
that the
behind
Frozen has. They do have 2 specials online, and they're gonna need to use them at just the right moment.
You see Kraken just being very patient, waiting for a couple of more teammates to come in here. 9 and TZS really trying to regroup because they have to make the defensive stop here.
Yeah, you saw Kraken got spotted out there, but
See, like, that should have been a double or triple. That's a great example of one. If I was just a little better player, we get 2. We get 2 or 3, and Pepe died behind 2. Like, that is such a situation where it's like, oh my god, it was perfect time. This was perfect. This was perfect. From like a team perspective, this is perfect. I was a little bit disagreeing of Pepe jumping in, but I moved with it perfectly. But I would have preferred to be my alone in the back here. But Pepe jumps in, I go, okay, I'm gonna jump, I'm gonna drop down, so that way Pepe's jump isn't seen. They don't see 2 of us back, they just want 1. And you 2 are holding in, as you kind of said. That's my goal. And I want to take this fight. I know they know I see it, but I know they see me, but they don't see Pepe. My hope is I can get some people here. I should get 2 here. I should get Drift, and I should get Kira. I should get both of them instead of get nothing. If I get 2, you guys are in great position.
Somebody saved your
And
life
you guys have a
there.
2v2
You
if
are
I die, or
right now,
3v2.
taking out two, the pressure still
Yeah,
comes in.
see,
They force
works
out the
like
big bubbler there, one
where you
stuck
guys,
in
I'm
the
like,
corner.
I guess I
They
could have
were trying to
jumped.
protect
That
them
bubble
there.
was
What
there.
a crazy fight
But I didn't
over
think
at
you
this
guys were going to live
position
here this long.
Finally one goes through in the point blank
And
shot
I'm
by
here
Gabriel.
eventually.
Can they get back in time to respect this lead and save it? Kraken goes onto the tower, gets taken out. It's just
Maybe
Vapor
I
at
could have
this
hesitated
point.
there a
Do they have
smidge.
the triple splashdown?
Just
The
a
answer is
smidgy
no. A
smidge.
few more points and that's the lead.
If I hold a smidgy and play with you a little bit more there, that could have been better. That was definitely, I don't want to say my weakest team play, but a team play I wish I could have had back. I trade on there.
3 seconds remaining as Duck Motif
Yeah, I definitely
gonna
agree.
hang on.
I forced it
However,
just a
we're
little
gonna
bit.
head to overtime. And now TZS has a chance, but no, that is squashed. And a remarkable come from behind victory by Duck Motif, Milana. They were
I gotta hold it
staring
just
right
I mean, just a smidgy more.
takes the lead.
Goes through in the point blank shot.
If I hold it
Can they get
to,
back in time?
I think it was just the best opportunity. I was worried coming down this way. I just couldn't get down here, but I think I could have. That's not trusting my map play either. That was, I don't know where my lead is exactly, because I know it's close to the checkpoint. I just kind of misplayed this one. This is definitely a misplay where I just don't have the information I needed.
Goes onto the tower, gets taken out. It's just Vapor at this point. Do they have the triple splashdown?
I definitely want to go back and recon where my points are a little bit more on this map.
Duck Motif.
I think that's my solution, genuinely, is knowing where my points are, because I just didn't know where my points were just as much as I needed
Takes the
to.
lead with
Where I
15
could, because that's
seconds
why I
remaining.
forced it. It was,
Just a
oh shit, they're gonna take the lead. When it was, oh shit, you can then go. You know what I mean?
relentless assault. Inkstorm comes out
So,
to help
you know,
suppress some of the
100%
firepower
forced
coming
it.
out from TZS.
No ifs,
3
ands, or
seconds
buts.
remaining as Duck Motif
No
gonna
ex-
hang on.
No
However, we're gonna
excuses.
head
Just need to
overtime.
do
And
the
now
adjustments to be better.
TZS has a chance, but no, that is squashed and a remarkable come from behind.
Up and stand on the kind of hold.
Rainmaker, a lot of times, it's just these tight little.
We're gonna skip this. I'm tired. I am tired. I was gonna do my solo play, but I'm tired.
Team like TZS.
This one
Again, better
disappoints me,
playground.
and it sucks that we finished on this.
Could this be the
I
last
really,
game? Duck Motif needs
really
to take
wish
this
I
one
had,
to win our Event 1 preseason week 1, or can
Played this a
TZS
little bit better. This
remain
one
alive in the
saddens
bracket
me a
and
little
force
bit.
Game 5?
'Cause it's a map I
Both
like,
teams
the mode I
scurrying towards the
like.
middle of the stage.
I know my
These
Rainmaker
I mean,
numbers
they had
tend to
one
be
last
lower
trick.
than
I
any other
highlighted
mode
it,
because
but
I'm
TZS
playing
had
so
sunk
hard
back in their
objective.
Tri-slosher TRF.
And
It is
same thing I say,
the
to
Spider-Shot
you
Junior of
report
Spork, who is
Vapor,
out right now. They have used
or
all
anyone that's
5
playing
of their
objective a lot
members
in general,
three
is
different
don't worry
ways.
about your
Hey,
stats
listen,
being
it's a
as
Tri-slosher
low
on this stage. We
because
know it's
you're
strong. It's been strong
playing
for a lot of
objective.
time, but I love
But at the same
even
time, a
after
little bit
we've said
disappointed.
there's no more cards left
I think I
to play.
played
They
Rainmaker
find one more
well
and they find the first
again.
TZS, we talked about
You know, we played 2
opening
games of
start
Rainmaker,
to
right?
this game. They've clearly established
And
here,
that
Milana, and
we
how
played
the
3 with the
tactical.
one
They wanna
ladder,
go for the quick
but
knockout.
They are
this was
protecting
rough.
the
That
rail
was
is going to
unfortunate.
stop that push from
David's
happening.
David's
But, you know, the
Wales with
Rainmaker
me.
is still in that corner. Duck Motif
But I
is
mean,
in a
I
good
for the
position
most
to be
part, I'm
able to
happy with what I
forward.
do in
They're
the
gonna use their
Rainmaker
specials. They're
portion.
gonna make
It's the
sure
rest of it I
that
think
when
I
they make it to that
really
first checkpoint, they can continue
wish I
that
could have
push.
done a
And
little
what a
bit better
response from Duck
in
Motif here,
all
Zach.
of
It
the
looks like that
Rainmaker
wrapped our
games.
first checkpoint
Well,
now.
Duck Motif being the Duck Hunter instead of the Hunted in this regard, as they took 3 members there taking out TZS.
So I'm
coming
definitely
through
gonna be-
one after a time, creating
That
these
probably
really
is what
great
I will be
situations in
focusing
time.
mostly on
Still
my
holding on to
solo
Rainmaker. They've got a
endeavors,
path. They get forward all the way to
is
27 and they take
what I can do
out
better.
Kraken
That one's a little
there.
bit
They wipe
forced.
them as a result, and they have the opportunity to finish it.
And here it is, just a couple of more steps, almost there, but
Forced it there a little
TZS
bit.
able to get the splat. Now it's a fight near the goal here. Duck Motif just 10 points away from taking out TZS and claiming the title here for
I mean,
today.
and to some extent,
TZS, though,
though,
still, they have plenty of
let
time.
me go back.
Here it is.
He took 3 members.
So I
there, taking
died
out
this year. Who am I
TZS,
diving
coming
this with?
through
'Cause I
one
feel like I
after
wasn't
time,
alone
creating
here,
these
was I?
1v3 situations
I
in
wasn't.
tie, still holding on to the Rain-
I was, but I wasn't. Pepe dies up there, and I was kind of trying to move mirroring Pepe from behind, and then David moves with
They
me.
get forward all the way to 27.
Do we
They
move?
take out Kraken Man.
4 of us,
They
because you
wipe them
also
as
are
a
there,
result, and they
Vapor.
have the
So we
opportunity
moved together. We just all
And here
died
it
together.
is, just a
Okay,
couple
that's not as
more
bad as I
steps,
thought it was looking at it from that
almost there,
POV
but TZS
initially.
able to get the splat. Now it's a fight near the goal here. Duck Motif just
Yeah,
10
you died
points
go to
away
Zip.
from
That's
taking
why I
out
partly took that
TZS
angle I
and claiming
did.
the title
It's because
here
of
for
Zip.
today.
'Cause I knew I
TZS
wasn't
still
winning
have
that
plenty
fight.
of time. Pepe with
If I
that
would have just been a
chance
third
to provide
casualty
little
to
bit
Zip
more
if I
support
rush
and
Zip.
trying to pick
That's
up
right.
what
That's
Zip's
why
on,
I
but
took the off
Pepe
angle I
goes
did.
down now and here's an opportunity for Duck Motif 9 to try and get the victory.
Yeah, you can see that Drift, I think, is just moving in that particular loop
Hope you
again.
trade
Now
over
Kara
there.
waiting too. The members of TZS are starting to lose where Duck Motif is attacking from. They're just making it too difficult to know where the threat is. Now Red Shell firing up their Vapor should be able to close this out, and does, but again, now we're down to just 3 minutes. A lot of points they'll have to get. They're going to eventually end up losing the Tacticooler war as well, because again, the other side has the Snipe Rider 5H of Kaisa, which is so good at turfing from relative safety. You see now they're simply trying to figure out firing different ways. Where's the attack coming from? But all this time you're not moving forward. You're making it that much easier for Duck Motif to find where you are. I think that's the third wipeout we've seen.
And it's a wipeout, and Red Shell has the Zipcaster ready to go, so you know it's going to apply a lot of pressure here, Milana, on spawn for TZS. A very dangerous position for TZS.
And you know what? TZS is really deciding what
Zip
to do.
here,
Do we
this is
drop?
the
Do we
zip.
try to stop this Rainmaker from moving any more forward? The zip
David does the same thing, but it's better that time. Just handle that better. I think we just don't get wiped there.
Kraken Mare going down. This is Duck Motif's
I don't know
game.
that flank. I think
TZS doing a good job
was a
holding
little bit
strong. They're just
was a little
knocking on
dumb.
the door is Duck Motif, and they just have to get out of their own.
I feel like
spawn
if
as TZS is
that
trying
needs to be
open up this game right now.
that's just
I know
not
the
me.
MO of the
That's just not me
Tri-Pushers
there.
usually trade and be
It's
traded,
not the way I
but TRF
usually
is
play
doing a
this.
good job of being
I think I feel like I wasn't
mindful
getting what I
because
wanted,
they can
so I was
see
just
when
trying
the
something
Rainmaker rounds
different.
that corner. Speaking of corner,
But-
Pepe backed into one, somehow survived the missiles. Does not could have survived the long
I feel like I
range
saw
of that
something
pencil
too
tie there on the Snipe Rider 5H,
when I did
taking
it
them
that I
down
just don't
as
recall
the
right now without
tactical
going back
online
and
as
looking
well.
at the
Duck
tape.
Motif with just
I feel like there's a
over
reason I
1.5
did that because I don't do that
maybe
very
some
often.
time
It's
to
really
advance. They
rare,
did lose two,
unless I
but
see
they're
some
at
sort
least
of
gonna provide
opportunity.
distraction.
It's a possible opening.
I'm
here for
curious if I
TZS.
saw
TRF
something.
At the top. Here comes a Trizuke out for Pepe. Picks up 2 here, 9, and this might be the opening that TZS needs.
I mean, this is going to be the
Oh,
best
man,
look
if you
I
hit
think they're
that.
going to get here. They need to take out Red Shell quickly, and no, that is a
Gosh.
trade, but at this point, you're starting to think we're going to need 1 or 2 more chances to get all the way down to 10. The opponent's probably not going to hand you a wipeout, but that is another one down. Can they move forward there? Keep an eye on the top of the screen for the specials. They would love to have one, but none of them are particularly close. Kraken Mare going to now move forward and try to find one. They actually do take out Kara here. There's an opportunity. It's going to need a few more, but I love that they're not giving up yet.
Duck Motif coolered up, and now they're just retreating, all congregating here.
I almost get the
Milana. Duck
Zipcaster
Motif has
too, and I
gotta
just
make sure
don't.
They take out the
I died to the
Rainmaker. They do,
whales.
And what a defensive response by them.
You know, Duck Motif.
I should have
it's
killed
Duck
that zip
Motif's game
there.
To lose, which means that they just have to play patiently. They have to just make sure that TZS has no small tricks up their pocket. And you see here, Drift holding on to that Rainmaker for as long as they possibly can, moving it kind of towards that right side and moving it into a place that's very difficult to take out of.
Yeah, under 30 seconds left.
Smart
here,
play to
Zach, at
put it
this
there.
point. Just wanna
I
make
wonder
sure
why I
that
killed him
any
so quickly. The
huge
damage that was done
opportunities
beforehand.
TZS.
I mean, I knew obviously it had to be damage, but I was like, damn, who did that? Take another. We'll take a double here.
May be creating an opening. They are going to have to get this Rainmaker shield pop. They have created 2 downs though. Now 3. It's just going to be the frozen left, and we have overtime to get through.
And
Pepe's
now
like, I go. I'm like,
still
yeah, don't worry, I'm
there's
going
an
here.
opportunity for TZS in overtime. Kraken Ring got to stay alive. Here comes a little bit more pressure. They're backing up. They're down by them. Los himself. 2-on-1. Can Duck Motif close it out? We're still in overtime. Kraken Mare.
I'm happy with this. I trust. This is one where I didn't move because I thought I was getting worried about going backwards, and also I trusted David here to get this one on the right. So you'll watch here. There's someone that's gonna go over the hill. I kind of like, okay, I'm gonna trust David. I'm gonna fire with it, but I'm gonna stay distant. But and it just I would have died from behind anyways. I didn't realize there was another one that comes behind. Yeah, the 52 would have killed me. The pro, I was like, all right, David's got this, right, and I'm just kind of in. I'm in no man's land. There's nowhere for me to go. I just wish we had gotten that one because we could have moved to the right. That was my goal, right? My goal at this point is if you fail this push, you just have to go back to the right, right? So kind of my goal was, okay, keep the Rainmaker alive. I can't really go back too much further because I'm going to start getting issues with that. I mean, I had to take one or the other, and I can't turn about the one behind me. I just have to kill this guy and go. Similar to how we did in, like, Undertow and such, where we just kill this guy and go. It's kind of what my game plan was. Because there's no way we're winning both fights. They're just not in that short time span. Because I'm in such a no man's land. There's nothing for me to work with defensively as a Rainmaker. Like I shoot a shot here. If let's say this frame they just do this exact path. Let's say I know that they're gonna do this, right, and start shooting at me. Let's just assume that, right? Even if I put a shot here as a 52 gal, they hit the shot and they probably win. This they just not. I mean I could have optionally is probably what I need to do. I'm just in a real shit spot.
Game 5.
And it was just kind of, we gotta trust David here, and it just didn't come through this time. Like it just took too long to kill that guy in mid.
Gotta stay alive. Here comes a little bit more pressure. They're backing
It's
up.
like we have the opportunity here.
2-on-1. Can Duck Motif close it out?
I mean, I take what 2 or 3 shots at that person. We just have to kill him. I can't rush it. That's dumb. But I take what 1 shot there. Take a second shot there, and it was a hesitated second shot. It's like that pro just needed to die. It just took too long to kill that pro. And in OT, I just can't make that dumb decision like I kind of did with Urchin or Undertow, which is like I'm a hold forward and trust, and just whatever works. Like I have to be somewhat smart. This is a shit. I mean, it's a shit spot, to be fair. I lose or I lose there, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's really realistic much if I do. Yeah. I jump where you both jump because I just don't know where anybody is. Like, my goal is to shoot up there to help you guys. And you can see I'm start shooting there to try to help you guys play there. And I'm hoping we fall back. Like, I think that's what we needed to do here. Because once you fail left side push, you can't keep going this way. We have to come back. I think that's a miscommunication between myself and you guys, where we needed to realize we need to go back this way right away. Because you jump in here, we don't win this fight. We never win this 95% of the time. Even if we assume everybody gets in safely and it's a 4-on-4, we have better luck swinging it back around the right side. So I think that's just I had a different thought because I knew you guys jumped, and I think we just need to come. We just need to come back. Yeah, because the reason I jumped back,
now 3. It's just gonna be the frozen left.
It's just we work numbers. We still lose that with a 10 there. All right, I'm gonna look through this here. I mean, with the jumps, right? I don't know where that 52 is. I just know there's a 52 creeping on me. Because that's part of why I dropped. I didn't know where the 52 was. It's just straight up, oh, 52, I need to get back. I know, because that 52, ding, ding, I'm dead. And I was right, they were up there. I just didn't know where.
Overtime, Krakenmare waiting for some more teammates to provide support. You can be as patient as you need to right now. This is going to be your last opportunity. Will it be a game 5 or will Duck Motif close this out? They come from behind and get the splat, and Duck Motif closes out. Close this out. This is going to be your last opportunity. Will it be a game 5 or will Duck Motif close this out? Waiting for some one. Can Duck Motif?
It's just going to be the frozen left, and we have overtime to get through.
And now, just trailing by 34, here's an opportunity for TZS in overtime. Krakenmare, got to stay alive. Here comes a little bit more pressure.
I think I could have gotten back on the wall. That is something I think I could have definitely considered doing, looking this back.
They're backing up. They're down by them. Los himself, 2-on-1.
I don't know if I shoot that shot behind me, though, and I get 52'd. I think that's just such... Because that 52 is right there on that wall. Right where I put that shot, that 52 is there. So if I put... Maybe I can put this shot there and get up there and be okay. That second shot, if I don't put that there, I die. That 52 is right there.
We're still in overtime. Krakenmare waiting for some more teammates to provide support. You can be as patient as you need to right now. This is going to be your last opportunity. Will it be a game 5 or will Duck Motif close this?
I mean, to be fair, they've also probably choked us on left side. They definitely choke us on either side. I don't think that's not a non-question. I think that's just a straight up. That's just what is going to happen. The left side is just so it's either we win that fight or we lose that fight. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. That will be my pondering for tonight, anyways. Hello, hello. You came right at the end. Because right as we were finishing up looking over this stuff too. It's definitely one that I think the big thing, no matter what happens there, Vapor, is we definitely have to just be on the same wavelength, and we just weren't. Because I think you're right to an extent. I think both are valid solutions. The problem is we weren't on the same solution. Like that's no matter what the answer is that we come up with, both are gonna have a very similar result because we need to get to the pedestal for both, where it's gonna be them attempting to stall us out, either on the left or on the right, because either way it's gonna be a 4v4 fight. It's just the biggest problem is we had 2 and 2 on each side, roughly, right? So it's kind of the even though it was nothing, we needed to do nothing together, right? Instead of doing something apart, or nothing apart for that matter, because we didn't do shit there either. Right? And I think that was the biggest failure. I think that's the bigger failure than which direction. It's being on the same page for which direction. Yeah. Yeah, it's just so late, Spongy. I sorry. I was trying to. I started this really late, later than I anticipated. Vapor and I were yapping beforehand, actually. And I planned to start like 8:30 here at Eastern, and I didn't start until after 10. And my initial hope was to try to also go through and watch each set from my POV. But if I do that, I'm gonna be here until 6 or 7 in the morning because I know the way I am. Obviously, I my brain just lost. See, I'm getting tired. Obviously, I like yapping, and my own POV I'm gonna be more critical on, but I'm definitely gonna have to look at that tomorrow. Tomorrow, maybe. I guess I can watch it probably if I wake up early enough. I don't think I'll stream it though, which was my initial plan. Maybe I'll do that in the afternoon instead of X rank. Lol. Who needs X rank? X rank's for the week. Well, I'm gonna call it either way. I think it's a different It's nice to talk this stuff over, kind of look it over. What we do better. There's a lot we can do. And like I said, I missed a lot of nitpicking that I have, and watching it from my POV, I will 100% have. But a lot of yelling at myself still to do. But just gotta get better. I'll play more. Like I said, my biggest thing is a big thing. I want to get more games. I think that's gonna be my goal in the short term, and that's something I've already committed to. I think through the month of October is finding more ways to play the game. And then I want to look over. Still want to look over my POV, but I think a lot of it is in some ways getting a little bit more reps, getting my brain running a little bit faster, things like that. I mean, you mentioned fatigue, Vapor, but I didn't really have fatigue in this, so just getting things running on me old brain. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up for tonight. I appreciate you all coming out to stream. We'll be back again tomorrow in the afternoon. We'll be back in 11 hours, roughly, and then I'll be back in the evening with TZS practice of some kind whenever we start streaming. I'm not gonna be 100% sure on stream start. Practice is scheduled for 9, but if we talk about stuff beforehand, that stuff might not be streamed, just depending on what the team says, and I, respect that. Some stuff we don't obviously want on stream. We put a lot on stream. We don't really hide much. Sometimes it's some stuff. It's literally just personal life stuff. Like nobody wants on stream anyways. Other time it's hey, we have a couple small things. There's some things maybe we want to talk about off stream. They're team related, but I'm gonna be real. It doesn't happen very often, or it gets put on stream anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'm getting out of here. Good night, everybody. You all have a great night. I'll see you guys in 11 hours.